Welcome to another episode of the Star Wars Cinema Crew presents the Book of Boba Fett review. This is episode 6, right? Yeah, episode
Yeah,
six
six.
of the season. But as you can see in my description, it might be the Mandalorian season 3, episode 2. So
I'm thinking so.
Rip off the helmet. It's Luke Skywalker under there.
It's the crossover.
so I tried to be clever with my
I have a
description
theory
there.
about that. I'd like to share later too.
However, we are here to discuss this week's episode, and of course, we're back with the usual suspects. This crew, we have a fine gentleman. Want to put him on the map. Chris Skywalker, what's going on, Chris? Josh, what's good, my guy?
This is the way.
It is.
Yo,
Main games from across the country. What's going on?
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's well.
And E Money.
Yo, I'm smoking.
Oh, okay.
woo!
Yeah, I still need to get that shirt. Actually, I have.
That's a
spoken.
callback.
Yeah.
I know.
All right,
Okay.
so we're here, like I said, to discuss this episode. Now, we left off last week, which was pretty much a Mandalorian episode, and we left off with him letting Fennec know that he had to go see his little friend before he was able to join them and what they're going to do. So we start off right away where he winds up. I don't know where that's at, but it's where the Jedi Temple is being formed, and he goes there, and right away we see him pull up with the new ship, the Naboo ship, which is awesome. I'm getting used to that Naboo ship, by the way.
Yeah.
Right.
It's starting to fit.
The N1 Naboo Starfighter.
Yeah. And usually I would go into you guys' overview of the episode before I go scene by scene, but because a lot happened in this episode, and I know you guys will probably spoil it in your overview, I'm just going scene by scene. Especially Chris.
I will.
Yeah.
Let's be fair.
Yeah, let's be fair. So you got to learn your panel, right? So
Yeah.
So then we got Brock says, "Sup, Brock? How you doing?"
What up, Brock?
All right. So but we see a blast from the past, Mr. R2D2 pull up on the Mando, and then he tells them to follow him basically, and you see the Jedi Temple being farmed with these spider-like droids, and then he tells them nothing's happening, and just wait right here. So that first scene, let's start with you, Main, my guy, Main, this time. How you felt about that first scene, man?
Oh man, it was interesting. Like I'm also like into like tech and stuff like that. So I even paused it and I like slowed it down to see how the spider bots were operating. Like to me, that stuff is interesting, like the hydraulics and all the inner workings of the bots. But it was really, really cool to see them putting the temple together, and just the way that I love the pop of color. Again, that stuff really catches my eye. So you see the greenery, you see it's a very tranquil setting, and it seems like if in your mind, like as soon as I saw this, I was like, oh yeah, I would train here if I was a Jedi too. Like it had just this very serene atmosphere about it, and to see him walk around and see everything being built, and you get the idea of what's to come and what this could be. You further follow further in the story. It was really awesome to see that being built and that groundwork, pun intended, being laid for that. And seeing R2 was also great, man. It was just a really good opener and a good way to introduce you to what the training ground, so to speak, what the academy is going to be like. So it was really, really cool to see.
Before I move on, our guy, State of Your Pro. What's going on, Pro?
What up, Pro?
SPG.
And Pro says another excellent episode of Mandalorian season 3, man. They're capping on Boba Fett left and right.
Yeah, I will say something about that. I think that this is really quick. I think that this is actually just a interesting, kind of like a smart way to market it, right? I think this is a smart way to bridge that gap and to tell that story. A lot of shows don't really do this, even if they have worlds or stories that's interconnected like this. So as much as it's catching people off guard, I think that it's an actual smart way to do that, to be able to say, okay, listen, we understand what you're expecting at the last season, right? The last few episodes of the season, but this is an interesting way that we're going to go ahead and bridge that gap between these two stories, since they're so interconnected. And I think that's an interesting way to go about it.
Man, I think it's straight trash, but that's my thing, bro.
Hey.
I don't think you've seen the overall picture though on it, I believe.
But yeah, I'll let you go on that in a second. But Josh, how do you feel about this first scene with the R2D2 meet up there?
Similar to Main's thoughts, I was like, wow, this is a very tranquil, Jedi-like oasis. I'm not going to say it was like Octu, but it reminded me of a blend between Octu and the Dagobah, right?
Mhm.
So, but probably more lush, right? More greenery,
Yeah.
which I thought that was dope. However, when I saw the spider bots, which were dope, and they were building the temple, I was like, okay, that's how they built or how Luke built the temple on Octu.
Right, that's what I was thinking.
However, when we see the flashback of Kylo Ren burning everything down, I'm like, how did he burn anything down if it's stone? If that's your first temple? So I was just like, that tomorrow, maybe it's a little bit of continuity, but it might be on purpose. I'm gonna trust the process. But that's what I was thinking.
That's a good point.
I was like, how did Kylo Ren burn down stone? I was curious about that.
True.
Yeah, I agree on that. All right. I'm saving Chris for last, but
Right.
What are your thoughts on that first scene with R2D2 there, man?
Oh, I thought it was great. I missed R2, just hearing him, seeing him. But I was still no cap. I was still on the Mandalorian side of the story. You get what I'm saying? Like, I when he got to the planet, it looks like a good guy planet. You know, it was real pretty. It was beautiful. I definitely didn't know the Jedi's built their stuff with them spider droids. I thought they did
cool.
it with the
Force.
With the Force.
Would that be too draining though? You be tired.
I don't know. Wouldn't that make you a beast though later?
Well, I guess so. Yeah,
It's like a muscle, right?
Good point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was great. But R2 definitely. And then are we at the point with the nap, right? The sleep, like that.
Yeah. Right.
That's how peaceful. Yeah, that's how peaceful that planet was. Like that's how beautiful when you could just
fly there to take a nap.
Down, right? Go down, guard down, just go right to sleep. No worries. Straight up, no worries. That was crazy.
All right, Chris, just up to the point where he goes to sleep. The
R2D2. Right. Pace yourself.
Yeah.
And then so Luke's so I remember Maine saying last week that we probably we would either see the Mandalorian like leaving Grogu, or it might just be like an afterthought, right? I was not expecting this to even happen this episode, right? So yeah, seeing all that Jedi Temple stuff, like everybody else said, was great. Yeah, man. As soon as I saw R2, I got super excited. I'm like, oh my god, are we gonna see him again? What? So yeah, I was on board with that right away.
He's R2D2 says, like, hello, fella, follow me. Take a load off, powers down. Yeah, that's exactly
right. Like it was just so simple.
Yeah. And I thought that I like that scene. I like I said, seeing the Naboo starfighter. You know, more was cool. We get used to the ship. I like seeing what we've already seen, the construction of it. So I like the fact that we saw the temple and how it came about and where it plans to be at, stuff like that. And it does seem like a serene place, like he was talking about. Like it's very calm and very serene. And of course, you got just to see R2. R2 has been with us since the beginning. You know what I mean? So I think that was always pretty cool. So and it's some comments, but I'll save those for the next topic. So we get to next.
Some people online were saying that was Endor, but I didn't feel the Endor there. They said because when he flew away at the end, you can hear Ewoks chattering or some shit, but I didn't hear it.
Also, what about the part? Are we going to talk about the part in the very, very beginning? The Raiders?
Oh my god!
Transaction?
Yeah. I guess I'm gonna put that later, but yeah, let's go back to that. No, man, you're right. Was it the Raiders? No, it wasn't Raiders.
It was
Pikes.
Doing
the Pikes and Cobb Vanth. We started the episode.
Cobb Vanth, oh my god,
and the Western kind of showdown where he's like, what are you doing here? It's not your territory, and then. They're like, yeah, you lost, stuff like that. And at first he was like, yo, y'all can just leave.
That's it. Y'all can bounce.
Yeah.
Nope, I don't see nothing.
Yeah, I don't see nothing. Y'all can leave. But they, of course, wanted to challenge him and stuff like that, and they saw how fast that he was.
Man.
So he kills 3 of them, lets the other one go, and then turns the spice over. So go ahead, man. Since you brought up that scene, how you thought about that scene, bro?
I honestly, man, I'm gonna start using it on my kids. Think it through. That line right there, he said, "Think it through." Yo, like, do you want this smoke? I just took out 3 of your dudes right now, and you the last person alive. I can let you go right now. I can let you meet your friends right now.
One?
Yeah, the intelligent one. And he was like, I don't care what anybody else says about this area or the surrounding area, but when you see these stripes, like I'm running this here area. This most Pelgo. This is me. So if you want any problems, understand that you gonna have to have some backup. You're gonna need something stronger than what it is that you packing right now, because I can take care of all of this right now and end it. But he tried to give him the opportunity to walk away, be peaceful, and he said, we've seen enough bloodshed and we've seen all this stuff. We don't want this anymore. We're trying to be as peaceful as possible. You're not good. You're not good. You're not welcome here. And I thought that was also a great way to foreshadow, the events that followed in the episode. But it was really one of those moments where it was good to see him back, and it was cool to see the interaction between him and somebody else we're gonna mention later on as well. And it was a really cool way to get some action and get some get the feelers out for the way the episode was gonna turn out. And I thought they really did that too. That was he did diplomatic as possible.
Well, speaking of him. Hold on, A. Speaking of him saying you didn't want no smoke at that time, and you said foreshadowing, Clo says all that smoke wasted early.
Just gone.
And then Pro says that scene in particular and the last scene of the show felt like something out of the good, the bad, and the ugly, or Unforgiven. Fantastic. Unforgiven is a great movie, by the way. So, hey, what was you gonna say about that scene? Go ahead, bro.
Nah, just that. This is why you guys, when y'all be looking at me crazy when I don't side with the guys that do pity, the guys that want to be nice. Every time you do something nice and you let somebody go or something, I would have ended all that right there. Nobody's leaving. I said what I said first. Y'all attack. You the last guy. You go. You get smoked.
Yeah, I agree.
You get smoked. Because if not,
I think
like
too that
what Clo said. I agree.
Because he didn't do what you said is what happened to him at the end.
Exactly.
Okay, fair enough. Fair point. But you never know.
Well, how about the first scene, Chris? How you felt about the first scene, though?
Man, that was just awesome. I love it when he's like, I'm going to chalk this up to you guys taking a wrong turn on.
Yep.
You see these colors right here?
That's it.
Not welcome. No.
That's it.
Right.
Yeah, that was just great. And I missed Cobb Vanth. I didn't think we were going to see him again either. So,
yeah,
they're tying this all in, man.
Did y'all think he would just turn the spice over at that point, or would he do something with it?
It's worth more than
I respected what he did. I respect when he kicked.
What about you, Josh? What you felt about the whole scene and what he did with spice?
I mean, again, I have to give credit to Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and Kevin Feige, right? Because what makes the Mandalorian so special, and as you know, to Will's point, Say They're Pro Gaming, this essentially is what Mando season 3, episode 2, right? What makes Mando so great is that the genre, right? The way that it's shot, it is a Western in space, which is fantastic. So if you love Westerns, this is why I recommended the show for Mando for my dad, because he loves Westerns. So if you love Westerns, you're gonna love Mando. And conversely, Boba Fett, and I'm sure we'll get to there eventually, right? Boba Fett is a mafia mobster movie or genre. So you're having those elements of deceit, and you can't trust anyone. And sure, you have that in Cowboys, because the Wild Wild West. So that's why I think these genres blend well, and it makes sense in a galaxy far, far away. Because if you're in the real world, you can't really do that, right? To have a Western and a good old-fashioned mafia movie or mob vibe, right?
Yeah.
But in Star Wars, they intercross, and you can also have the monk peace type people like the Jedis. It all blends together into this wonderful cocktail. So I thought that was great. And then I agree with you guys, but I understand why that he Vance did that, because that's part of his honorable MO, and I'm sure that'll help. And honestly, I'm not going to say what I think right now about how it ended. I'll say that for then, but I do think his type of personality blends well with Mando and Boba Fett and what they're going for in terms of honor and respect. So I respect, as he said, that he turned over the spice to put it in the sand. That's big respect right there. There was a little hint where I thought he had it in his eye, like I might could do something with this, but that kind of goes against the ethos of that little town right there. So I understand why he let him go, but usually that doesn't end well.
It don't work
for you, especially someone as well connected and funded as the Pikes, because of course they're going to come back with a bigger gun. They're going to come back with that train, or they're going to come back with a bigger gun. So that's it's the Wild Wild West in Tatooine. You should know better.
So
Yeah, I
just-
agree. Like
correct.
letting them go the first time, no harm, no foul. That
Yeah.
was cool. But once you shot 3 of them, now you got to
Yep.
kill them all at this
Yeah,
point.
you have
Okay.
to.
Yeah, it's either all or none.
I
Or
agree.
maybe
Think
it was
about it.
meant
Just
in a
think
message
about it.
too, right?
Whether he was a gunslinger or even if he was like Jedi type, samurai type, you whoever they go, whenever you just let go, can tell people what you are, what you did, what kind of style of person you are.
That's true. So they basically what you're saying is that you could then have somebody report that you have a sense of duty, a sense of justice, or you let you let me go because of whatever, and you can exploit that weakness if you
Right.
see it
Yep.
that way.
And
Okay.
you got a
Yeah.
and you have a fast gun. He's a very fast gun.
In a
So
small
what do
town.
right.
That's
so what
true.
do you do?
That's true. Okay, I see that. Okay.
It's remote. No one's going to miss you when
Yeah,
you're gone on Tatooine.
that's true.
So there's
That's
not like
true.
there's going to be any justice because you're essentially the sheriff. You're the justice. So if you're gone, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
You got to think about your people.
Right. Right.
And I think that was where he went wrong. If you playing devil's advocate and siding with you guys on that, is that's where he went wrong because he felt like it wouldn't really come back in that capacity, right? So he thought he meant well, but that doesn't always mean that it turns out well.
And Close says that Boba better take note.
Boba better do something.
Close on point today.
Yeah, I don't think Finnick will let Boba do that.
And then Pro says when he said it was worth more than his town, and he said maybe I'll retire and then let it blow away. He says everything you need to know about Cobb Vanth.
Facts.
I agree. So moving forward back to this planet, I guess, and we see he's back. Luke Skywalker, Grogu. We see them sitting there meditating at this particular point. And then we see Grogu, I guess, not very focused because he's hungry, I guess. He's trying to lift he does lift the frog, and before he goes to eat it, which was a funny, good scene. We see Luke kind of look at him, he drops it, but then he shows them, he lifts up all the frogs at this particular point. And he starts to talk to Grogu. You guys fill in that dialogue, but I mean, go ahead, Chris, take it away, bro. That scene, bro. What'd you feel about it, bro? I didn't wait for this all day.
Man, let me tell you something. So Mando season 1, right? Or season 2 at the end when Luke showed up, a lot of people were like, oh, that's a little weird looking, man. And then freaking Lucasfilm's like, wait, hold my beer.
That's not what happened.
No, that's not what happened. They grabbed the guy that
they grabbed the guy. A guy on YouTube basically showed them up, and then they hired him.
No, man, no, bro.
That's what happened.
100 times better than even that.
That's not what we're saying.
The only time
they didn't say hold my beer. If that guy didn't fix it, they wouldn't have been able to do shit. They hired him, and he.
I don't even think they watched that video, bro.
They did. That's it.
They did. They hired him.
They hired that guy. You're sure about that?
Yes, he works for them. Yes, 100%.
Okay, then anyway. That looked so much better.
Amazing.
I hope it silenced all the complaints. The only issue I had is when he spoke, it just looked a little off, man. But I'm like, yo, we're ready for some Luke Skywalker feature shows, man. Because I even showed.
I was going to say that was very good of them and very good, but it also says where the hell are their guys at? Because they hired a guy off YouTube or whatever. So but at the
there's
same
always
time,
somebody better at everything, right? I mean,
right.
I even brought my mother, and I was like, "Mom, check this out."
Yeah, my mom loved it.
Now there he is now, and she was just like, "Oh my god," So as far as that scene goes, go ahead.
I would say also shows the power that we have today to be able to not just technology, but that someone can show what I can do and get a job. I
don't know how people feel about bringing back dead or not dead actors, but resurrecting people when they look younger. Like a lot of people on Twitter, like celebrities, were saying, "Oh, I would never let them do that to me." So, that's kind of like a gray area. Will they bring Leia back someday? Is that a gray area? You know what I mean? But all that aside, God, I love that scene, man. I loved everything about it. It was like a reverse of Yoda training him on Dagobah, man. It was just so awesome. Well,
let me just talk about that for a second for you. I guess the next person. I think it's awesome. I think it's a game changer. Like for example, the MCU never got a recast. They can just keep making the age of people, right?
Wow.
And even if you watch that one, what's that one Will Smith movie where he was fighting against his younger self?
Gemini.
Gemini.
The movie was trash, but
right.
The tech.
The tech was dope. Yeah,
Yes,
really
sir.
like a young Will Smith.
Yes, sir.
I think that kind of, and I know Maine's a tech guy, so I think that kind of tech is awesome. If you want to speak to that in that whole scene, go ahead, Maine.
Man, like just to be able to, again, I actually went back and I paused it, and then I went on my TV and pulled up the last episode of The Mandalorian just to compare the two, and I was like, yo, like, what does this mean, right?
Right.
And to what you were saying, Chris, right? How a lot of actors and actresses were complaining about that, and they said the same thing when HD and 4K came about, right? What'd they do? Add more makeup. You know what I mean? Like there's always a way that you can find a way to make this work. I think that this is great tech to be able to say, okay, listen, like you said, you get Meryl Streep, you're getting a little old, we're gonna put a little bit of this on you, little facial auto tune, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we're gonna judge you up a little bit. You
Why
good,
would
you in
they
the
be
game.
mad? Because they can give them more roles. Right? That's it.
I don't know, man. But
I guess
but
it's like the morality thing. I don't know.
yeah, but listen, you
I think
this
the
business
dead
is
actors
different.
is like Leia, you know.
Yeah, you can pull that off. You can, and it's fine. Talk to their
I don't
state,
know.
see if it's
See,
okay, and
See,
go from there.
That I might got a problem with, man. The dead
Yeah,
ones.
yeah.
You
That's
know what I mean? Like the Grand Moff Tarkin one, that was bad. But I feel like a lot of those, yeah.
Okay, I can see that.
Family, right? So
I can see that there'll be some issues there. But going back to the scene though, I as a dad, I loved the interaction, that first interaction between Grogu and Luke, because I've done that myself, right? You're with your child and you're trying to teach them something, and you understand that kids get distracted. They have moments. They can't hold their attention the same length that you can. So they got distracted, and Grogu got distracted. I've done it too, where I'm trying to teach my daughter something, and she's being 2, and instead of me being upset about her with it, right, I'll just do the same thing and just to show her, you know, hey, it's okay. You want to have a moment to break the tension or just to relax for a second, okay. And so for him to call out Grogu and then turn around and be like, hey, look, and then like a whole bunch of frogs in the air, like I thought that was pretty cool, and that was a good little dynamic to show the teacher and student, but also that Luke has the capacity to understand, you know, even at that age, you have to adjust and adapt to how you do things. You can't train somebody the same way you would train a 15, 16, 17-year-old. You have to meet them where they are. So that just shows how he is as a teacher and what kind of relationship they're gonna have. But I thought that it was well done. I love the CGI again for Luke was super dope. There were some instances where like because I'm very like my eyes are just like I'm looking at everything. So it's like there were some moments where when they zoomed out, some things looked a little distorted, a little off, right? Like the nose and the angles like that. But that's just me nitpicking and me having the eyes that I have, right? And the way that I judge things, the way that I analyze things. But for them to do that and pull that off, man, like I clapped. It was well done. And if this is what you're gonna keep doing, and introduce that to many movies and many films in your franchise or in your company, oh man, you this is how you do it. This is how you get people on board.
Go ahead, Chris.
I really want to know how, because that was voiced by Mark Hamill too. I want to know how they modulated that voice to make him sound younger too, because
well, they did the same thing in the Mandalorian. Yeah, it was Mark Hamill's voice as well.
Yeah.
Since all the callbacks to Dagobah between the character and student were amazing in this episode.
Yes, they were.
And then he says this, Pro. He says that I don't think it's too much of an issue because they own the likeness of Princess Leia, who happens to be Carrie Fisher, and the same as Mark Hamill. So it's not an issue for legally; it's an issue of morality, right?
Correct.
Because the question is, you know how an actor can say, "I don't want to do this scene.
I'm done." Or whatever.
But if she's dead, you can do what you want with her. That's the morality clause at that point. Where Mark Hamill, though, he's still doing the role. It's just he's not there. So it's a little different.
He's still voice acting, which was really dope. He's still voice acting.
How you felt about the very first scene of him and Grogu together, and then seeing Luke and how it's going now with that?
Yeah, to echo everyone else's points, I did love the CGI. I thought that was fantastic, and that was my first thought. Like, wow, look at this deep fake. That was fantastic. And I was also wondering the same thing, how they got the voice modulated. I don't know if they, used, previous audio clips to composite something to create that, because I know you can do that, especially with AI. So I thought that was great. And again, the teacher-student, dynamic, I thought that was fantastic. Another parallel to, think about it. He's essentially teaching Baby Yoda when Grown Yoda was teaching him. So I thought that was that was very poetic scene. And then, as Maine was saying, because you do have to meet your students where they are, right? Where is their focus at, right? But I love the fact that Luke was able to lift all those alien frogs and be like, listen, if you focus, You get all
You'll
the
be able
frogs
to
you
do
want.
this,
all the
right?
You feel me?
frogs.
But you got to focus, young boy.
Right.
Eventually, he
Right.
got there, and I'm sure Michael will get us to that scene eventually. But I thought that was great. So I was very interested to see what they can do. But to the point of the CGI, Lucasfilm Arts has always been the front runners of CGI in the movie industry. Period. Right. So they've always been the cutting edge every single time. So I'm curious to see how they're going to incorporate this even more in the MCU because it's under the Disney umbrella. And I'm curious to see how if this is going to set a tone to the Carrie Fisher point in Hollywood in general, because I know directors like James Cameron love using CGI over actual actors. So you can have them do a lot more. So it'll be interesting to see going forward with filmmaking process.
Yeah, I forget who it was. They were gonna make a whole movie about him. He's dead too. It was James Dean. They were making a movie about James Dean.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah, it was gonna be
and
all
then like
CG.
it was a whole big thing. Like he's been dead for a long time and stuff like that. So I think it got shut down because of that situation with the movie fixed too.
And I will say that whole Kurt Russell thing, I still will come back to that. Kurt Russell
that was
and
great
that
too.
Guardian.
Yeah, that was
Oh
good
my
too.
God! Like, come on,
all
man.
of them. And
Robert Downey,
Robert
Yeah.
Downey,
Moore.
younger
Yeah.
Robert Downey, and then the other one, not Scott, Hank Pym, but it showed the
Yeah.
younger Hank Pym and stuff like
Yep,
that.
yep.
Yeah.
And then he's Michael Douglas from like the era of like Wall Street. I thought that was pretty.
Yeah,
awesome.
man, it's there. So I can only imagine what that means for all the properties under the umbrella, man. It's crazy.
As Chloe said, you can get your actors to not mess up and do whatever you want too.
True.
That's
I didn't like that
Law,
smirk.
law.
Okay, touch it up, and you could do that.
Yeah.
Remove that smirk.
Right.
No breaks to hazard.
Exactly. Because again, was it Harrison Ford broke his ribs doing the latest Indiana Jones?
Well, somebody's still doing the body part. They still need a break or whatever.
That's true.
Like,
Yeah,
what are you talking about? The guy who was the other X-wing pilot. He's Luke last week.
I remember you said that. Yeah,
he's a stand-in.
you're right. But yeah, you could absolutely do that.
Hello? Okay.
Oh yeah, don't. Okay,
okay.
don't do that. Yeah, Stadia Pro has a point there.
But I guess again, I agree with you guys about that. But we're talking about the entertainment industry, which values money over everything else.
True.
So if the estate signs off, they're gonna do it.
That's what I was saying.
Not
2022. Not 2022. They don't, bro.
I mean,
Not
if you think
2022
about
they
it,
don't, bro.
if you think about it, it's already happened with Princess Leia. She was passed, and they added all of that, so they already did it.
Yeah,
they've already done it. So
they already shut down the James Dean movie because of it, though. At the same time,
again, that's now, but in 10 years, people are gonna feel completely different about that.
We'll see.
we saw that tech with concerts too with Tupac. Man, that blew me away. Then look how much
the
better
hologram,
bro. Oh my God, I'm gonna get to be able to see Nirvana someday again. I don't know.
That's all cool, but Tupac on the hologram was doing his own songs. He wasn't doing nothing new. It's the fact that you having a person who's dead stand here and hold this.
Yeah, but I bet you
they might not want to do that.
I bet you they can get there someday, though.
Oh, it's already, I'm sure they're already there.
Have Tupac sing a whole new album.
And we would have his fans saying he don't rap like that. He wouldn't put the raps together.
Yeah.
Tupac don't move his wrist like that.
All that they gonna say all that.
All right, sorry.
We're fine. That wasn't even the right West Side side.
Exactly.
right.
The middle finger going in front of the other finger, ring finger, not the other way around.
And all that is facts, gentlemen. But let's be honest, when we're long and gone, and we're not there to be like, this is wrong. It's the next generation who's gonna be like, oh, this is cool. That's it.
Okay,
that's true as well.
I agree with that. I think
absolutely.
I think it's the us and the generation before us and before us who are still like, nah, this ain't cool. But
at some point,
under us,
yeah. In a lot of ways, we are either even now or going to become the gatekeepers of these things, right? And I think that's how it is. We're looking through that lens, and I think that as you get older and as you continue they progress through the franchise, like Josh was saying, there'd be times where my son or my kids would be like, "Yo, this is fire," and I might be like waving my cane or some shit. Like, this is fat. It's a stupid. But you got a point. It all comes down to what happens and how the perception is reality, and what their perception may just be the reality. I like it.
So,
Absolutely, and I
man,
also got to give
everybody
credit
else
to Chris and Stadia Pro because to both of your points, which is brilliant. This is the Luke that we always wanted, but we never
Yes.
saw. So
Yeah.
whenever I
Never
see these
got,
type
right.
of
Robbed
graphics,
from us, bro.
that tells me he's going to be in more cameos in TV shows, and you can easily have a feature film trilogy with this version of Luke, and everyone will flock. That I feel like that will re-galvanize the franchise
Star
in the
Wars.
theaters.
Yeah. Most definitely.
Yeah, but just to play devil's advocate, I agree with you,
Yeah.
Josh and Pro. Brock said Luke was amazing. Oh, no, he said the same thing. Yeah. Oh, no,
Right.
that's him. Yeah. And then he said, I think they did a good job on Luke, how the trainer he was. Yeah. I said the same thing to Chris in our chat. I said, yo, I wish they would have did this, and it's a shame that we already got the other version of Luke. So it's like,
Right.
what the fuck? Like, it just
Right.
makes us mad.
Just
I
knowing
think
that future that I hate is there.
You only got a small window now to put him in a film because you know his future. That's the only problem, right?
Give us what we really wanted, another.
But it's just like Battlefront 2 when you have all those adventures with Luke. Now you can turn that into actual films or whatever.
And that's what I was getting
at
to.
least what 40 years to figure that out. That's
what I was getting to. I was going to say the same thing that they're doing with those video games. That could be the new CGI. That could be that. And it's just going to take time for that tech to meet that expectation. But you can do so much with that. And now you absolutely correct with that, Josh. Absolutely.
And with the novels too that are canon, that's in there. You can easily do that.
They know what they're doing.
Are the novels canon now? Because then you have kids in novels.
The way y'all talking, you know what's gonna blow our mind? Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be fire.
Obi-Wan is dope because it's just you and McGregor still playing the character.
Correct.
That's even more.
And it aged properly too, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Come on,
I don't
man.
know about properly, but it aged good enough. Something like that. I think it'd be.
So, question. Sorry, guys, I have to ask this. So, would you prefer the CGI Luke, or would you prefer like a live action Sebastian Stan who looks just like?
I'm glad you brought him up.
Either one.
Glad you brought him up.
Originally, I would have. Oh God, my voice is cracked. Originally, I would have liked Sebastian Stan, yes, but now seeing what we saw this week, man.
Yeah, either one now.
I agree with you. Either or.
I'm gonna go with this because I want to hear Luke's voice now. I want to hear Sebastian Stan's voice. That's the
okay.
Thing.
Okay, so you want them to wait till later.
Mark Hamill as Luke got a certain delivery and a certain.
Oh, he sat with that character.
He's the originator.
Yeah. Right. But that's what I want to hear. Now, you know what I mean? I wouldn't want to hear. I wouldn't want to hear the Winter Soldier. Is Luke.
I think I'd be open to it. I think I'd be open to it. I think Sebastian Stan can pull that.
However,
most definitely.
Yeah, he is playing Tommy Lee right now,
right?
Hulu, and he's pretty fucking good. So,
right,
I want to see that.
Here, you know what though? I think to what you guys saying, it makes it hard because also like for me, I don't want to hear anybody else play the Joker other than Mark Hamill, like voice acting wise, right? That's the same thing. Great. He's done it for so long that when they try to introduce other people, I'm just like. Where's my man at? Where's my man Mark at? So I get that, man. Like I honestly get that, but it really just depends on the direction that they want to take. Ultimately, that's another thing too. Is that we're just consumers, right? We support it. We put the revenue in, but we're consumers at the end of the day. And if they feel like either Sebastian Stan is the right way to go or CG Luke, we gonna have to.
I think at this point you can't go backwards. We already made a decision.
Why did Stadia Pro Gaming was sad about this episode? What was sad about
it? Because he wanted that Luke before. He didn't get that Luke in 7, 8, and 9, so it made him a little melancholy.
I think they're creating that desire to be able to have that film trilogy.
Oh, it's definitely a test. I'm sure. It's some
I don't
sort.
think it made me sad. It gave me new hope, bro.
Oh, I see what you did there.
I see what you did there.
I see what you did there. See what you did there, my man.
See, you there? You speaking eloquently again, sir? You getting him again?
There you go.
You guys rubbing off on me.
I think you definitely gonna see Luke in the real Mando season 3, quote unquote, and Ahsoka, and they might both go together to find what's the kid's name that she's gonna look for. That's with Kanan. Is that Kanan Jarrus? Or who is it that she's gonna look for?
Oh, Ezra Bridger.
They might go together to get Ezra, right? Luke and Ahsoka.
Yeah. I want to know who's gonna play Ezra.
Yo, that would be so. Again, that's another
poetic
scene, right?
This is the rise of Skywalker, like you said. This is great. This is
because
great. This is the real
man.
Rise of Skywalker.
Right, exactly. Because
This
then you
ain't-
have,
this-
you know,
Oh my God.
Ahsoka was with his father, and now she's with the son. So I love that poetic vibe right there.
Yeah, if they went on an adventure together, like that would be so freaking.
Oh
cool.
my God!
I never thought I'd see Luke and Ahsoka together at all.
Right?
Man,
right,
that was super dope. Like that was a dope. Yeah, that was just that
comment
moment
she made. I was like, oh.
right. That the father, you look like
you remind me of your father. I was
like that right there.
But my question though for you guys, Star Wars, like I guess Clone Wars fan. I've never seen Clone Wars or Rebels, so Ahsoka to hit for me.
On that, brother.
Guys. But my question: where the hell she been through the whole New Hope, Return of the Jedi?
But that's going to be answered when she has her own show. The same way that the Boba Fett questions are being answered with this show, it'll be the same thing for her show.
But she still wanted to help, so it doesn't matter what the hell the answer. Like, where the hell was she at?
She did leave the Jedi Order, so.
Because my point is that when I watch, and I know we're going off topic, but when you watch A New Hope and Return of the Jedi and Empire Strikes Back, the part of the feeling is that Luke is becoming the only Jedi left. To know there's more takes that away from me, or whatever like that. Right? Part of that is like he's becoming the new but only Jedi. That's like part of the story. So it's like to know like there were like several more out there. It's like, well, wasn't that special to me at that point?
I don't know about several more, maybe like a handful max, right? Because not everyone's going to die because of Order 66,
right?
If it's a Jedi,
right?
My money's on Obi-Wan. Like, look how many Jedi, right?
I think we're at more than a handful now that got.
Yeah, I'm about to say, like it's several more.
And then it showed you in the last Star Wars movie, the last Star Wars saga, that it keeps going as kids get young. You know, kids get born. There's new Jedi still coming. There's still people born with the Force.
Cal Kestis is master.
And because even that, like they named the movie The Last Jedi, so. Now, are there more? Like, I don't know. It's very questionable.
But The Last Jedi was the fact that Luke was going away from the Jedi Order. That's why you have the Grey Jedis and all that. That had nothing to do with
which is my favorite.
Jedi.
My favorite. That's my man. That's off topic too, but that's my favorite. Like when you start to get into like the Greys and the ones that because I've always had this thing where I've always questioned. Oh, that's why. That's my only thing. Oh, you should do this. Why? You should do this. Why? So the fact that they introduce that, they have these people in these groups who could fit in on either side, but they question both sides and in turn find their own path, which makes sense to them. That's very interesting to me. So I hope that by them having the Last Jedi movie, we'll start to see more of that side in the coming films and the coming stories.
Exactly, and that's what you wanted, Mike, to get away from the Skywalker saga. So you need people who aren't Sith, who aren't Jedi, who are doing their own thing, who are Force sensitive. That's exactly what you want.
You're going to need it moving forward. Yeah. It's just good. It's all confusing to me. Honestly.
By the way, man, that was a great segue, man. Because it's in the scene that we're talking about. Do you guys remember where the Jedi books were in the background?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just like
all the Force users that were left, either Sith or Padawan, that escaped Order 66, weren't formally trained. Okay,
that's true.
Do you think we're gonna get Inquisitors?
Oh, you're gonna see them in the Obi-Wan series, 1,000%.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, that was really cool about Colin Trevorrow's script for Rey. At the end, she accepted the light and the dark side and found balance in that. And that's what was, she could love and all this other stuff. And that's what I loved about his script. But Disney was like, nope, fuck it.
Yeah. That's a good point, though, Stadia Pro.
I give Ryan Johnson credit for it. Is a broom. Is what?
For broom boy.
He grabbed the broom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me fix you real quick.
With the shooting star. Good call, Will.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
And then he said, I guess, about where Ahsoka was. I'm assuming he said they explained that in Rebels. There's also some time travel. You should at least watch Rebels.
Oh yeah. Listen, man.
You got Disney Plus for a reason,
man. Look, man. Y'all see that logo behind us?
Myself.
Y'all see that logo behind us, man? There's tons of content, man.
I'll be telling you,
we get into, man. Trust me.
Well, I feel like now, and I'm gonna get back to the show after this. I feel like now that I have to watch them almost. But if you're only a movie watcher, you're not getting the same content as everybody else.
Correct.
It kind of sucks for you a little bit.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
it's worth it, man. It is.
Yeah. Well, some people just like I don't watch animated. I just don't watch it no matter what.
Yeah.
So it kind of sucks for them in that particular.
Yeah, but now at this point, and now with all this stuff, that especially all the canon stuff, just like Hustle Man and Martin, you got to pick up the pieces and just put them all together. You know what I'm saying? You just got to put them together now.
You do.
But I did watch a timeline video that kind of helped me out.
Okay,
a little bit or whatnot.
An abridged version, kind of.
No, that was an hour. It was crazy.
Oh, okay.
The link he sent in the group chat. I love that video. I watched it when it came out. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it went way before. How far did it go back, Josh? It went like for the beginning of time. Or something.
It reminded me of like the Game of Thrones timeline. It was like it went way before like, the prequels.
The first like 25 minutes is before the prequels. It's crazy.
Exactly.
Like,
oh damn.
You gotta watch that, man.
I'm gonna go back and watch it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, bruh.
It talks about the first Jedi, the first Mandalorian, the first Sith, everything, bro.
Look,
so Mike, because Mike didn't watch the you ain't watched the animated show, so there is a planet where the Force originates. Which gives you a lot of context. You really should watch.
My man E, like, should I be high for that?
It's good though, bro.
Right, yes, you should.
Yes or no?
Right? Yeah.
Do I need to
That's how you
focus?
absorb the content like
Right.
a sponge, man.
I agree with you though, Josh, because I watched like I watched all the pre-Game of Thrones stuff on YouTube. I read the books too. So when this show comes out in April, I already know about this whole saga right here.
Yeah.
So it's pretty good.
Oh, that's what's
it gets deep in Rebels, man. They were talking about the first two Force users, the father.
That's what I was about to say.
Exactly.
My son knew more.
No, it's a brother and sister. The father,
brother and sister. Yeah.
I told you it goes all the way back, Chris. You gotta watch.
Wow.
I'm gonna check it out.
You should.
When I was watching this episode, I was watching it with my son, and my son knew more stuff what was going on than I did.
Oh, I bet that burns you up.
Yeah, because he watched the cartoons. It
got like little pictures with the videos. It's pretty
Okay,
cool.
okay, I'll check that out.
I'm gonna check that out. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm watching Game of Thrones, bro.
Wait, what? Hold on. What?
I'm still not gonna watch Game of Thrones, bro.
Oh, you tripping? You tripping?
Right,
man.
Yeah, you are tripping.
Well, it wasn't for me, man. I made it through 4 episodes, and I was like, "Fuck this, I ain't watching this shit no more."
What?
Huh?
Oh, the slickness, the killing, oh man, you wow.
Did you hear that just now?
I'll make one statement. I'll make a statement.
I couldn't feel it. I'm sorry.
Game of Thrones is my #1 show of all time. In my almost 40 years on this earth, there's nothing better than Game of Thrones.
Nobody's perfect.
It's not perfect, but it's the best show. It's not perfect, but no show is perfect, but it's the best show I've ever seen to this day.
Wow.
I don't like Witcher either, so you know.
Witcher not close to Game of Thrones. Witcher not even on the same level.
I understand that. Yeah. You know what? I would rather read the books, I think.
Okay, because look, I got a whole shelf full of every single book over there. Somebody said, wait a minute, clear that up.
I gotta finish
And to answer Pro's question, no, I've never seen anything from the animated series. Not no episode, no show, or no movie. Like
no. Oh.
And it's just pretty epic stuff. And then he says, I can understand why some people can't get into Game of Thrones. You need a thesaurus for all the families. And first season, you have no idea.
It's true. That is true.
You gotta get a compendium.
But once you keep watching, you understand what family is. It is.
But you're right. You're right.
People banging each other in that ship.
No, not
oh man, listen.
Your brothers and
keep on living.
In that damn show.
Keep on living, bro.
Hold on, Chris. That's how it was in that time period. It was a lot of incest. That's true to the time.
Right.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's not like
royalty. Yeah, it's all about bloodlines.
Yeah, to keep the bloodline strong and stuff like that.
By the way, don't forget Luke and Leia's kiss, Chris. So a little bit of
You got me.
All right. So speaking of Luke,
just give the first season a chance. That's all.
Let's get back to Luke. Luke was like I said, they showed that part with the frogs. Yeah. And did they stay with Luke? Yeah. He starts walking away, and then we see him moving Grogu with the Force, which was awesome.
That was pretty cool.
How they did that stuff.
Yeah.
I love that part. And then we see him telling Grogu, "Do you want to remember what happened?" And speaking of Order 66, we see Order 66.
We saw that, yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
First of all, those were some weak ass Jedi, by the way. But however,
yeah.
all three of them
literally just Just guarding.
No.
That's it.
Those were Anakin's clones, bro. Those were the Fist of Vader, bro. They're not. They don't fuck around.
They were only shooting. They ain't do nothing special. They were only shooting. So they all got shot up.
I was just throwing a couple Laura cookies at you, man.
Thank you, I appreciate that. But then we see him like take Grogu. So why are you talking, Chris? How you felt about him like showing him his memories and then walking through the woods and stuff like that?
Man, well, Luke dropped one of the greatest lines on Grogu there when he said size matters not. I was like, oh wow, man. It came full circle, bro.
He also mentions Yoda in that scene too.
Yeah. He used to talk in riddles. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I loved it. And that Order 66 thing was pretty cool too. But that leaves me more questions like who had him, how to get out of there. Maybe we'll see that in the future too. But yeah, that was the first time we got to see like it from that angle too. And just when you thought you'd never see that slaughtering of the Jedi Temple again, they just bring it right back in your face.
Yes, sir.
So I thought that was a nice touch, man.
Order 66.
Order 66.
Yeah.
66. And look, I bet some people are like, oh my God, Order 66.
Right.
Oh, he said it.
Right.
I want to know what 65 was. I'm like, I want to go back.
No. Go back to 65. Go back to 65. 65 was good. I love 65. 65 was great.
Right.
Yo, I bet you some fans wrote that up for you. Order 1 through 66.
Right, they probably got him.
They probably got it too. Yeah, that's there.
But Josh, when you think about the whole Luke, moving him with the Force, telling him about Yoda, and being able to show him his memories, what do you think about that scene?
I thought that was great. They're doing a great job of showing new powers. So I thought that was cool. We never actually saw, someone walking with someone else and, helping them along. I thought that was a cool choice of power. I'm not sure about Pro's comment about Anakin saving Grogu because he was already on the dark side by the time
he was done.
From my recollection. But I did love the fact he gave him his memories, and it just brings up new questions for Grogu's origin story, which I'm sure will be answered in later content, which I'm very excited about. And of course, because it's around that time, since he was alive, right? There has to be some time he met Master Yoda. There has to be. Has to be. There's no way because Yoda.
He was around Order.
Yeah, I mean,
right.
He was the
because before this we thought Yoda was a 101. We never seen anyone else of his species, so there's no way that Jedi find him and then not tell Yoda unless they found him at the moment of Order 66. That's the only way that could happen. There's no way that Yoda would not be aware of him. Even with the Force, he would have to be aware of him. So I feel like we're going to see a Yoda and Grogu interaction somewhere in the future.
Man.
Stadia Pro, he didn't even cry when he killed the freaking Tuscans, bro. Oh, he did. Oh, I killed the wife and the women and the children. And then he was over it.
He killed him.
Get in here, bro. He felt about that whole flashback scene for Grogu and Luke and Grogu right there.
I liked it, especially because I never knew that Grogu was with other Jedis. I thought Grogu was just found on the planet. Like I never knew he knew other Jedis before. So just to see that, and
he was there.
Yeah, he was like there in the mix of it. But what I didn't understand, what was it? 3 Jedis fighting, right?
Yeah,
3 of them slow Jedis fighting, and he was in somebody's backpack. Now, weren't they taking off though? They were taking off, right? So,
I'm sure somebody was bouncing. Yeah.
Isn't that how they was getting away? Like that's what I thought. That's what his getaway was.
Yeah, you know what I like about before even the memory, I like just to walk in and talk in this serene place. I like how he was moving him, explaining who Yoda was. Again, that delivery from Mark Hamill as Luke is just really good to me. Like it puts him in a different place. It's like he's so calm, but he's a trained killer. Like, let's be honest, he's a trained killer.
No, honestly, like his outfit,
the all black.
It's real. It throws me off sometimes. Like this dude is like a Jedi, but he dressed like an assassin.
Yeah,
that's like his dad.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So
I saw him all grown up, man, more wise, and just like
that's how he came back.
The answers in the original trilogy. Now he's got all the answers. It seems, Joe.
I feel like it's the same Luke from the end of from episode 6 though.
Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah, when he was
Return of the Jedi, right?
Because he had the black on in. That's how he left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I just think, man, we
Return of the
needed that
Jedi.
so much and we never got it.
Yeah, I agree. But you know what, Chris? I don't know though, right? Because if it's what y'all say 30 years later, that look would have looked too young, I guess, right? In the sequels.
But look like a bum, bro, and living like that.
I look like a bum.
Dude, no, man. And even, Mark Hamill was like, this is the Luke I foresaw when.
Yeah, Mark Hamill probably wanted to be like all black and still in all black.
Yeah, man. I would have taken the gray, but still Luke Skywalker. But now,
right.
I don't know, whatever's beyond master, because that's what he was in that one. Force protecting.
I honestly don't know who's left to save Grogu. Who could enter the temple and take down Vader? Right-hand troopers to hold off Vader and get away.
Mace Windy.
Yeah, I know.
But he had already been struck down by
Mace Windy. That was good. I'm sure that was a jab. I'm sure that was. Oh no, you meant Windu? Oh my bad. I thought you meant Windy. Damn.
But isn't there a question now that he actually died, Mace Windu? Because
I don't know if he died or not.
Yeah,
it comes down to if Samuel L. Jackson wants to come back at this point, right?
Yeah.
And George Lucas already said he's still alive. So.
Oh, okay.
He's hiding too.
He has Mace Windu has an interesting story anyway, but yeah, I believe so.
He does. He does. I haven't read the whole thing about the purple crystals and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's the only one, right?
Only one with the purple
the only one. Yeah, the only one.
Yeah.
He's got a certain fighting style that's different from all the rest of them too.
Yeah, see, those are the stories I want to get into.
Because he uses light and dark side when he fights.
See, that's what I'm saying.
That's another that's another show that Samuel.
Right. Yo, they could do a whole Mace show.
Come on, man. Just Star Wars Windu. Come on, dog.
They mentioned that Dooku did too.
Dooku's got a whole
Jedi, he was a little bit.
Listen, Dooku's story is in that thing I sent. Dooku's story is like way deeper than the movies ever tell you.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to get
Dooku's story is interesting, man.
Very interesting, bro.
Yo, just the content. I'm telling you, it's there. I'm telling you, that's all I'm gonna say, man. It's
I'm
there.
definitely about to check that shit out now.
Dooku's interesting.
Check it out, bro. Like
Dooku's story is interesting, man.
Yeah, read the Plagueis book, man.
Plagueis.
My.
Oh, you
Dark
mean
Plagueis the
Y?
What species was Plagueis?
Yeah, he was a moon. M-U-N.
Okay.
Yes, yes. I mean, okay. Yeah, but yeah, back to Luke. What you're saying, man. I that was really cool to see him dressed like that, and that talk was also really, really cool, man. Me personally, I thought that it was one of two ways, right? You could look at it like he was being. It was like sometimes as parents, you walk too fast for your kids, right? You ain't. I mean, you have to slow down sometimes when you holding their hand and things like that. You got to catch up. But if you got force, man. Fuck all that, man. Just gonna lift you and walk, lift and walk. I thought that was really cool to see.
If I had that shit
target,
like my kid in the mall, I'm like, yo, come on, man.
You know what I'm saying? Just force levitate him a little bit, just walking, just gliding across.
Yeah,
because
at first I didn't notice it. I thought he was hopping.
Yeah, and then you saw the hand go like that. I was like, my man.
All right. Well,
cool.
more Jedi. So we'll leave from them, and we see Mando waking up after his little nappy nap, and he wakes up ready to shoot, as Mando always is, and it's Ahsoka standing there.
Yep.
And she's back after we already saw her last season, stuff like that. And then they take a walk. He's here to get get his, not get him, but see his son.
Mm-hmm.
And I love how her delivery is. Like, she's let him go to see him at the ledge. But are you sure you want to do that? He's gonna have an attachment, blah, blah, blah. And then he says, can you give him this gift at least? And you see he's right there, but he
says that too.
Doesn't go see him. Yeah, he's like, I came all the way for nothing, blah, 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 this and the third. So Chris, since you spoke first, man, touch on that scene. How you felt about him?
I'm sorry, I did it again.
No, go ahead.
I mean, I don't really have too much to say about that scene, except that I wasn't expecting Ahsoka to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Mando came all the way out there to give him his gift, and wanted to give it to him personally. But yeah, and then she, like you said, she reminded him he misses you very much, but this might interfere with his training to be a Jedi, right? So yeah, that was deep. It was very nice. But
Josh, I need to get some detail on that scene. What you felt about it, bro?
Yeah, I thought that was that showed great restraint by Mando, because of course that whole trip was emotional. Like I had to go see a little friend, and we understand they it wasn't just Grogu who bonded with Mando and imprinted on
Right.
him. It was vice versa. So I thought that
Yeah.
was great for the relationship. However, the whole point that Mando brought him to the Jedi was for him to be safer, right? And he's not going to be
Yep.
again, Mando's lifestyle. Look what he's about to do, right? So his
Right.
lifestyle isn't palatable for an infant at the end of the day for Grogu. So I thought that was great. He was like, you know what, this is the right call. And I don't think Ahsoka used this is the droids you're looking for force
Nah, I don't think so.
manipulation. I don't think that was necessary, and I'm sure she sensed that as well. But that was a very cool scene.
Yeah, she could have done that, huh?
She could have.
Yeah.
Main.
I think that it also shows how he's a man of principle, and he's a man of course his religious beliefs as well. He understands them, and it's not so much he's not so blinded that he can't understand and extend that same way of thinking or empathy or any whatever word you want to use, terminology you want to use towards somebody else who may be going down a certain path that may be similar to what he has gone through. So I think that was awesome that he said that, okay, well, I came all this way. However, like Josh was saying, I brought you here for a reason. I sent you here for a reason. And it would be selfish of me to interfere with your path and what I believe is best for you. And he did what he had to do. He gave his gift and everything, and he decided to step away to be to keep him safe and to stick to a code actually, which is interesting, is that he'd been going against that code this entire time. And when he finally got there, he was like, you know what, I understand. And as much as I hate it, as much as I do see him, I can see him right here. He's fine. He's doing okay. I'm not gonna interact the way that I want to, but I know that he's safe and I know he's in good hands. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna leave him where he is, and hopefully we see each other again. And that's what I think. But I did actually really really quick want to go back to Grogu when you did the flashbacks. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to say that.
Go ahead.
He to me, the most interesting question about all of that, right, is the fact that Grogu is considered an infant, right, to the standards that his species is, right?
Mhm.
How did he get to where he is now? Why is he so prized? Why is he so sought after? What is so special about him? Not just his species, right? I think we've never seen the second one before, but why is he already being shown in the care of Jedi? Why does he what do they sense in him? How did they find out that he was sensitive? What is so important or so special about this guy to where already in a flashback you see him being guarded by Jedi?
I think
That
that
to me is very interesting.
Because he's
Well,
Yoda's species.
right. I think that they know
Okay.
the
Rare. Yoda
Metachlorians,
was
right? The
Okay,
Metachlorians,
yeah, the
and,
Metachlorians,
I'm
yeah.
just glad they didn't bring
Then-
up midichlorians again, bro. I'm tired of that stuff.
within that particular species is probably stronger than just regular humans or whatever you want to call them, right? So Yoda lives 900 years, you know what I
Correct.
mean, or more, I guess.
Correct.
So I feel like that they might be, I think they feel like they have the strongest force, which can breed more
Okay.
Jedi.
So they're more
Or-
predisposed to force, to being
Correct.
force sensitive. Okay,
Yeah,
No,
you
not someone, but someone of that species might
got
be.
you. It's
better-
more of they have a much greater affinity to it than
Right.
others.
Yes.
Right.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay.
And think about it.
I feel like
Think about it.
Luke
Hold
said
on,
something
real
about
quick.
his age.
Hold on, real quick. And think about it. Being alive 900 years mean he's been a Jedi for how many fucking years training?
True.
Like, I mean, so it's like he's a master amongst masters and shit like that.
That's
he's
true.
Probably
Okay.
That's a good point.
with every conflict between dark side,
He's
light
seen it all.
side. He's seen it all. But not only that, he's probably been pulled all ways too the whole time too. So he's
True.
been able to like master that chi, let's say, to not go that way. Or
So
maybe
there's a
he did
potential.
at one point.
We've
We don't
seen
know.
more Mandalorians than we have Yoda species, so
Right.
That's
Go
true.
ahead, E.
Okay.
Right.
Go ahead, E. I'm sorry, bro.
No, I was just saying, didn't Luke touch on that? Like when he first met Ahsoka, didn't she say he was already like 500 plus years?
He's 50.
Oh,
Right,
50
so he's
years,
50.
okay.
Yeah.
He's 50 years.
So and that to me it that begs the question. Like I understand that, but like it's crazy how we don't know much about Yoda species, like we all said, and he's lived so
Yeah.
long. So I was wondering, just in my mind, like what were they going basis off of just the fact that they have somebody who's of Yoda's species and they using him and using Yoda as a template to say, listen, we got this dude over here who is 900 plus, or the capacity to live all these years, and he's force sensitive as well. We know that, you know, this, and this. Is that why they really like? Because this dude is like gold or diamonds.
I mean, that's a great
you know
point.
What I mean?
I think that's probably why the Empire or the Resistance, whoever, you know, kind of went after him, and
It's like everybody knows this.
They were studying him. They were running experiments.
That's
on
what I'm
him.
saying.
There was a lot of fan theories that he was either Yoda's clone, or they're probably going to clone him because of all the points that Miguel and E were saying, right? Because it's clear that his species has a great connection to the Force, and you can live that long. So imagine if you harness that for the dark side or the Sith. That's very valuable in the galaxy, right?
They should be lucky they even become a Sith.
For all we know, he won't be an adult. I agree with that.
That's true, and I'm gonna bring that point up later for the last scene.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, but I just wanted to touch over that because it just speaks to how important that, you know, that makes Grogu.
And one last thing, even if you take out the whole how powerful he may be, the fact that he lives that long means if I turn you dark, you can lead us for that long. So just keep having more and more generations of dark side people, no matter how powerful you are, stuff like that. You can keep leading on. If I can turn you dark, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's another. Unless you learn,
I feel like
what's he say? The ways to become where you can't die or whatever, like that, like Sidious said. Or whatever. There are many ways. So whatever he said.
Darth Plagueis, that's right.
And that's why I feel like Ahsoka walking on eggshells. Like that's why they're like they're not trying to get him attached to Mando like that. They feel like if he's gonna outlive Mando, and if he can't take the death of Mando, what
that'll send him over the edge, much like Anakin.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Much like Anakin.
Yeah, because what we know is that he's gonna outlive Mando no matter what. So I kind of agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Ahsoka for me, I mean, besides the stuff I don't know about her, I feel like it could have been anybody I do know. I feel like she was a little fan servicey. We really didn't need her in this episode. She didn't train anybody or do anything. She was probably the biggest fan service part, but it worked at the same time.
Oh, absolutely, it worked.
It was weird that she was even there, right?
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, what is she even there? Like, she's just like she was. I think that Rosario Dawson was shooting Ahsoka next door. They were like, "You do the same thing real quick."
Right. I believe it.
Her all day.
I believe it, but she looks good. That looks good.
They were like, "You on your lunch? You on your lunch?" Okay,
but I will say, just to play devil's advocate, if she came across a creature like Grogu, and then all of a sudden Luke comes out of wherever Luke comes from, I feel like eventually she's gonna they're going to eventually meet up, force wise. To me, that makes sense.
Okay. That makes sense.
It's you know what's weird with Chris there, right? So in Mando, she was like, "No, I can't do it. You got to find somebody else."
Yep.
And then she was like, "I don't know where the hell they at, but go to this place and put these stones in here, and you'll get them to come there and shit like that, right?" And then like Mando said, "I thought you didn't want to train them. What the hell you doing here, basically?" Like that. And it's like,
okay,
you sent me all the way here to find another Jedi. First of all, you already knew who the Jedi was. You already knew who Luke was around.
True.
You didn't even tell me his name. You were just like, somebody might come get him. Then you're like, "Oh yeah, I knew he was there the whole time. I just wanted to take one little mission." I'm like, "What the hell?"
I think she's of course knows more than she's letting on, but I think right now she's just an interested party. I think at this point, she's just an interested party.
Didn't she say why she didn't train him? He said it was something about choice. Was he talking about it was Grogu's choice?
But it's no different than the same thing between him and Luke right now. It's no different.
Right. That's what I
believe that Ahsoka has doubts about her capacity to teach or to be. She doesn't feel strong enough or confident in herself enough to take on any students, I believe. And that's why she felt there's somebody out there stronger. And I think that's why she did that.
And that's because she got taught by Vader. So that's why she feels like that. Like her teacher turned to the dark side.
Exactly. That's where I was going.
Who am I to teach?
Right. That's where I was going. I think she's scared that if I teach this Padawan and he becomes dark, I'm like, it's my fault. And she said, remember she said to Mando, "I've seen the best of us goes to the dark side," right? Which was a great line.
She linger on that.
And she tried so hard.
That messed her life up, man.
It did. And after that, she was like, I'm gonna be neutral as much as I can. I may know some stuff, I may not know some stuff. I may tell you, I may not tell you, but what I won't do is I'm not training him.
or from what I've read and saw, it wasn't just like Anakin. It was her belief in the Jedi, right? Because they kicked her out,
Yeah.
and shit like that. So,
which it's another story. You got to be careful, just for both sides, the Jedi and the Sith. You have to be careful because you don't know how these people are going to receive you, how they're going to perceive you, and regardless of what they're saying about attachments, that's the thing, is that you're still having an attachment. There's an attachment there, regardless. Even if, like Luke said, you have to forsake all attachments. The fact that student teacher relationship is there, that's an attachment. And whether you want to see it or not, it's a selfish way of thinking, in my opinion, because you now say, okay, well, I'm going to tell you what I believe is right and what is wrong, right? For whatever reason. And I would hope that you could see that. But however, if you tend to disagree with what I'm saying, now there's a problem with that relationship and what you've been taught, which now leads to people either going gray, going to the dark side, going to the Jedi side, and things like that. So it's an interesting way, an interesting mandate to me when it comes down to that, and that's probably why I prefer Sith. Jesus.
Well, Luke even said it, that the Jedi Order was flawed. In The Last Jedi, he was like, yeah, they were flawed, and in their hubris, they didn't see the dark side coming, right? So
I kind of agree, not the whole Sith part, man, but about like the student teacher, right? Because you could tell that like Obi-Wan had attachment to Qui-Gon, right?
Yeah,
student
absolutely.
Teacher, right? You could tell that Anakin had attachment to Obi-Wan, so the attachments are there.
Yeah,
and people call Kappa on Luke because like, yo, but what about Leia and Han?
True.
You got attachments.
Yeah, that's true, right? You see what I'm saying? So yeah, and I was joking about the Sith, but I love the Sith, but I would be more of a gray guy personally. Clearly, that's how I'm saying things. But yeah, that's the thing, is like on both sides, you were like, wait a minute, y'all saying y'all gotta forsake these things over here, but you're asking me to pledge allegiance to you or your ideology, and it could cause many different problems. So just in both sides, it's interesting to me how they pose those questions, but they say that at the same time they use them as a way to say, but we're the exception. Whatever side you choose,
absolutely.
Am I tripping, or is it when if you train Jedi first and then go dark, you usually last longer than going dark and then going light?
Dooku.
I believe so. Yes.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Usually, once you go dark, you don't never go back light.
Yeah. You can't. Yeah. You can't.
Jedi, you can go dark.
Dooku always questioned it. Like we just again.
That's what I'm saying, right? Yeah. That's the thing.
Well, in Legends, there were a couple guys who went dark and came back, but not in canon yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was just interesting how that whole thing. Speaking of Ahsoka, and just that's what I've always been interested and fascinated with. Is just that whole like ideology for both sides. Like, you can't have any attachments, but you're attached to me, and you're attached to what I'm telling you, what I'm teaching you, and you can't stray from that. But there's no attachments. You know what I mean? I just find that interesting to me.
It's not very like black and white with them. Like,
it's not.
They got a lot of gray areas, so to speak. And
that's why somebody's always rebellion. Like
absolutely. Absolutely.
Like, no, I can't. No.
The shirt comes off too. Yeah, I'm like, what? The shirt too, the robe and everything.
And to Josh's point, right? And to Josh's point about in our chat about continuing with Rey don't even understand like the whole Jedi yet. As far as like, first of all, I mean I'm not going to say that, but Rey don't understand the whole Jedi yet. As far as like the whole questionable things they do and and the ideologies and stuff like that. So I think she's really excited about where she's at right now. But moving forward in this episode, so we get that scene and hold on, I think I got a breaking news here. Where is that? No, not here. Let me see.
Breaking news.
Yeah. What's the share screen button?
It's at the bottom. It's a computer with the plus sign.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Share.
Oh, here we go.
And your screen.
I got it.
Sharing is caring.
Yeah.
What will we see?
Get the
breaking news
arrow going.
Breaking news.
Share entire screen. Here we go. Share.
The suspense is killing me, brother.
That's
no, because we're on to the next screen. So I got to give you guys the breaking news.
Inception. Here we go.
Boba Fett to be a cameo in appearance in the episode of the Book of Boba Fett.
I'm dead.
So, scene.
Y'all ain't shit.
Damn.
Y'all going to force hell for that, man.
Right.
Y'all going to force hell.
But we see Mando show up. back at Jabba's palace, and we see Fennec with Boba, Black BK, Black Shanton. We see the mod kids, stuff like that, and they're making plans. You know what they're going to do about the Pikes, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, shout out to my sister-in-law TJ over there. What's up, TJ?
Oh, TJ, that was good. Got me tearing up, bro. That was good. That was good, man.
Yeah,
that was good.
So,
like a
right, you played this too. Wait a second. Breaking news. Wait a minute, guys. I have, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? What is this?
Yo, I thought it was about to be a new show.
I'm like breaking news. What? Okay, let me lean in. What the hell's going on? Did you put that bullshit up?
This bullshit come right.
Disney announces Star Wars episode 6.5.
There's a rumor that Boba Fett might show up in his own show.
That's crazy. That is crazy, bro.
Well done.
Thank you, sir.
Well
Thank you, sir. I've had that play. Listen, I've had that play all week, bro. So thank you.
Oh, well done. He was waiting for that, boy. He was waiting. He kept looking at his watch. Yeah, I'll let you talk about it, man. I got to get this in.
By the way, Miguel, if you want to do the share screen, you can also do the application, and then you can just do the application of the actual screen, the photo app. You can do that too.
Okay,
Oh, man.
I waited all week.
Well done.
But we do see Mando get there. They're planning, like I said. He parks. He tells the Gamorrean he wants to talk to Boba. He don't talk to Boba, obviously, because Boba don't get no lines in the show. But we see Fennec planning the stuff. Mando comes in and she says, we got Mando for muscle and stuff like that. And then Boba looks at him, and again, he has no lines in the show. And then we see Mando saying, I got somebody else I'm going to get to help us out. Stuff like that. So, man, you know what?
Yo, you gotta do the Boba face though. That's all he did, right?
That's all he did, yo.
So
shit is terrible.
I'm trying to keep it together, but the way that my man is shitting on Boba, he tried. The camera panned over to him, but he didn't have to say. They panned it back to Mando. Like he didn't have no lines in this episode.
That's what he did the whole episode. He said.
They couldn't fit him in. They didn't have budget. They didn't have enough budget to fit him in.
Hey, yo. And then everybody looked at Mando like he ran the show. Everybody's like,
everybody did.
Oh my God. Okay. Okay. These are your lines. Okay. It says Boba. Look. Pan camera 2. Pan camera 3.
They can at least have him say like "Hello, Mando" or something.
he ain't have to.
Oh my God.
Now, let me share my screen real quick. This is what y'all missed last week. I don't know if you guys missed this.
Oh my gosh.
I'll see.
I'm not sure. Ooh. Anybody see that last week? Ming-Na.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my
God.
God.
God, bros.
Yeah. I told y'all about Ming-Na, bro.
The thirst.
Man, look. I'm like, yo.
My man E was like.
Listen. I'm like, yo, no wonder Agent Coulson was on her in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right.
Yeah, man. I can look at her all day, bro.
Coulson was like, look, I don't care how many times I die. I'm coming back to you.
I thought that was a real Star Wars picture. Though I was looking for the robot.
Man, you zoomed all the way in, bro. You was like, let me get out my chair for this shit, bro. Let me see what this is about. Right, hold on, wait a minute. I want to get all the pixels.
Oh my God!
Listen,
dude.
it's the reason why Boba let her be in charge. Like, I'm not saying nothing. I am Boba Fett, but she's in charge.
You know who I am? I am Boba.
For real, that's probably why he got that smirk every time he take his helmet off.
Right?
Yo, he done announced his name about 10 times since the show started. I am Boba Fett. Like, why you keep telling people that?
Oh my God! Okay.
He was on the rat catcher droid there. I am Boba Fett. Like,
oh my God! Okay.
He wasn't doing no playing, man.
Yo. So anyway,
that was good.
Yeah. So that's a 2-minute scene, and then Mando leaves. At which point we see him fly over, and he goes. But before he gets there, we see he gets there and we see him park. And we see the deputy come out and meet him back at quote unquote Freetown at that time. So wow, E, girl, all on the screen, huh? E? Oh, we better get in trouble. E, look at that.
Oh, bro. Yeah,
Oh man,
dog.
this lady's present. We weren't expecting that.
Man, that was good. That was good. That was good content right there.
Chris about to get E in trouble, man. Anyway,
Right.
so
I apologize.
So the deputy comes out, lets him in. You know, Mando's can I buy you a drink? He comes see Payne, so I buy you a drink, whatever.
Right.
Get up in there. Tell them they needed help. And the bartender be like, no, we don't do that. You know, we're just a free, simple town. Then we got Mando saying, you know, Boba needs your help, and you know, you guys are good fighters. I've seen you guys before. It's a lot of good money in this for y'all. He decides to say, you know, leave and say, I'll think about it. I'll go all the way through. Say, I'll think about it. And then as Mando leaves conveniently, and then as he's outside, you know, he sees someone coming. They do a great job directing Dave Filoni of like building a suspense at this point. I just want to say that part. And especially for those of you who know this character, because I didn't know who the hell it was. So like after the show. But anyway, and we see you know, the deputy, who's that? He's like, go in. The deputy stays out there to his dismay. And the guy comes up, and what's his name again? Cad Bane. Yeah, Cad Bane. And then Cad Bane, you know, so I'm going from my perspective, I'm going from your perspective. So my perspective, not even knowing who he is or hell he was. I thought the delivery of the lines were great. I thought that he definitely was menacing. And I guess he works for the Pikes. So he might be like the big bad or something like that.
He's a free agent, bro. He goes where the
Crime Syndicate.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but he's working for him right now, know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. He works for the Pikes right now. And tells him, you know, just stay out of it. Now, again, I like the fact that they give him options. You know, even with Cobb Vanth in the first scene, it kind of mirrored that. He was like, listen, just stay out of it. You can have your town. You know, let us do our thing quietly and nothing going to happen to you. And, of course, Cobb Vanth is like, you know, nah, I can't do that, blah, blah, blah. And then the dumbass deputy, you know.
He did the Star-Lord.
Red shirt, by the way.
He did do the Star-Lord.
He definitely did the Star-Lord.
You know, gets involved, pulls out first, he gets smoked, and then
shot my man like 6 times.
Cad Bane purposely only shot Cobb Vanth like in the shoulder because he's a good shot. And then we see him walk away. So Chris, man, take it away, man. Talk about the whole scene for me, bro.
All right, I'm gonna give you a little background on Cad Bane, right? So up until Jango Fett died, he is the most badass bounty hunter in the entire galaxy, right?
Word.
I love that he was Corey Burton came back to play his voice because he's got a very unique speaking voice and tone, right? And an interesting fact that the guy who plays him has Asperger's too, which is interesting. But anyway, I don't think that, you know, whoever's in that suit, I'm not sure. But I knew who that was immediately from the silhouette, right? And I was like, they're not doing this. Are they really doing this? Here comes Cad Bane. Holy shit, this is going to get real. Him and Boba have some history. That dent in his helmet, Cad Bane did that. Almost killed him. So, and he's also got history with Fennec too. So, yeah, I don't know how I didn't see this coming, man. But that stupid deputy, bro. Oof, he made a big fatal mistake. And that was a wrap, man. And yeah, now this just got really exciting, but we only got 1 episode to go.
And E, listen, bro. I know what you heard, but it's not what it is, okay? Because I saw your face. You was like, Asperger's.
Yo, that's the first thing I thought. Yo, I'm like, what the?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's a spectrum of
But the way his response, he was doing something. Look, rolling it up, doing whatever you're doing. They hear Asperger's.
That's the actual name of it, though. E.
That's what I'm saying. That's how it's pronounced. But he heard what it sounds
also,
like.
Elon Musk has it as well.
Yes, he does.
Just imagine doing something real fast and you just hear Asperger's. You just look up.
That's why I laughed. I was like, no, E, it's not at all.
I didn't even catch that.
Smoke.
It's all good, man. I just had to clear that up because you made his face, dog. That I was like, wait a minute.
I missed it. I'm gonna go back and watch that.
Before I move on, Chris, did you want to talk about the whole Mando aspect of it when he got there in that whole scene too, or with him and Cobb Vanth? What do you think about that?
Let E go.
All right, go ahead, E.
Yo, man, I woke the house up when I saw him. Yo, I woke the whole crib up when I saw him, yo. I'm like, oh, they got the blue dude with the red eyes. I ain't know his name, but I definitely remember seeing him. So I was, yeah. And then he started talking slick. I wasn't expecting him to talk slick like that either. But yo, listen, when he was talking slick, yo, word for word, like I guess people had a problem with his mouth, but I didn't. I loved everything about him. I liked exactly how they put him from cartoon to a live character. And when he was like, "What did he tell him? You should keep your nose out of people's business or something."
I laughed at that.
My mom goes, "Yeah, because you ain't got
one."
I said, "Yo, my mom tripped me out with that one." She was like, "Yeah, you ain't got one." I said, "Mom, he'd have killed you right there."
Yeah, I literally paused it when he said it. I paused. I was like, boom, and I was just like,
Right.
Let's
Keep
play
your nose
again.
out of people's business. But for real, I didn't know. I couldn't tell if he killed him or not. If he killed,
he didn't kill Cobb.
He didn't kill. All right,
Nah.
yo, he unloaded on old boy though.
Yeah,
he unloaded on Starwars.
That was what, 5 shots?
Yeah,
yo,
at least.
Ming.
Yeah.
Sat his ass down.
Yeah.
Down. Now, why did my man get up like he about to do something? We know he don't do shit.
Oh, the bartender?
Yeah.
They also changed the name of the town to Freetown. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I said. The whole scene. But why don't you touch on it, man, from the beginning when Mando gets there all the way up to Cad Bane, bro?
Man, I honestly felt like this was supposed to happen, right? I think that when he mentioned that he had some people that could help, I knew that at some point this is what they were talking about. And I love the banter between them, but I already knew it was going to happen, right? Just from the storyboard aspect, you know that a guy comes down to plead to somebody's better nature, trouble ensues, change of opinion, boom, right? I knew that was going to happen. But the way they went about it, when the CAD came down there, though, I was like, wait a minute. Because I saw the silhouette, I saw the hat, right? And I was like, who is this? Like, who's this poser, right? Then they showed us the shoes, right? They showed the shoes with the bullets. I was like, okay. Then they panned up. Then I saw the blue. I said, this motherfucking Cad Bane. And as soon as he lit, I saw the tubes in there. I went crazy.
Right.
Went crazy. And just the conversation that they had, right? I was like, wait a minute. Because if you know his past, right? You know he's worked for the Huts. He's worked for a lot of different people. So I'm like, why is he talking about the crime syndicate? Of course, if you know his background, you know that he's a gun for hire. But there seems as if something else that of value that he has that he may want, right? So we'll get into that later. But I think that was an interesting conversation that they had, and I was like, okay, well, what's gonna happen? For me, the deputy who came out got on my nerves. I was like, kill him. 'Cause at this point, you're not listening to me. I done told you to stay inside. I done told you to move. To save save as many people as I can. This is between us. Dude got shot up. The thing to me that really got me really excited was the fact that up until Vance, right? We thought Vance was the fastest slinger, right? He unloaded 4 shots on the deputy, and then had enough time to shoot Vance in the shoulder. I was like, damn, that's a hand, right? But I also love the buildup. You got the people peeking out of like a Western, people poking out of the windows and sliders and all the setup and everything. It felt like you about to witness a really dope like a gunfight. It just so happens that the deputy was the one that took all the bullets. But I think that this is a really good setup. And the last words he left with Vance was basically saying like, yo, like, basically you fucked up by letting somebody get away first and foremost.
Yeah.
But now that I'm here and now that I've seen y'all know what it is now. And if y'all have any problems, this is it.
He said just stay out the way. Like, so he don't want to kill the town. Like, he said just stay out the way, y'all be good.
But what messed me up is he said you should have wore your armor. How the hell did he know that man had Boba Fett armor?
Well, he was wearing it for a long time. He said like trying to protect the town.
Also, it was interesting how Bane left on the same pretenses that Vance did in the beginning of the show. So it was a psychological thing, too. Like, you motherfucker.
It was the same thing.
It was the same. He did the same
thing. He told them
thing
in the beginning
Yep.
just go away. Bane did the same thing. Just stay out of it. We good. Shit like that. Whatever.
So I thought that was well done. It was funny how it all came back full circle.
Yeah,
It was dope shot. The way it was shot and everything was dope, man. I enjoyed
It
that.
was great, man.
But my thing is that honestly though, no, I'm gonna let Josh go. And I'm gonna say my Josh. How you feel about this whole scene, man? The whole thing.
Oh yeah, everyone had brilliant points in the first part when Mando was there and the bartender. I was like, oh, this country bumpkin, right? Small town mentality. Like, oh, this doesn't affect us. We're our own society. Da 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 da. Again, Tatooine is a fair game for everybody. So what happens to the rest of the Tatooine is happening to y'all. Like, and y'all need to understand that. Y'all live there long enough to understand that concept. So I was like, come on, get out of here, guys. And then, especially with the Pikes, especially with something like Spice. So I was like, of course they, for a plot device, they had to have that counter opinion for the drama of the scene. I get that. I understand that eventually, because as Maine said, they're eventually gonna join the fight. Because he says, Vance says, get every able-bodied man and woman able to fight, blah, 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 right? So we understand that. And then for Cad Bane, my goodness, because again, I haven't seen him since the animated series. And I was like, oh boy, you lucky he didn't bring the flamethrower.
Right.
You know he's going to bring that next time. And I feel like you have him being a gun for hire, badass bounty hunter. There has to be a showdown between him and Black Chrysanthemum, I think, in the next episode.
That's sure he's not going for FETT?
I think he's definitely going for FETT, bro. There's
a
serious problem between those two. Yeah,
I can see that.
He wants to finish that business.
Yeah. That helmet.
Do you think that he? I guess he does know. Yeah, he said he knows or whatever like that. He's probably surprised that FETT's even alive right now, like everybody else was.
He probably took that job for free, knowing FETT was involved, bro.
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't think that. I think he wanted his money. I think it was my money.
He's probably still getting paid.
Pay me a flat rate, but I'm not gonna charge you extra for him.
He ain't Mando, bro.
Mando, if he fight Mando cutting them tubes with the dark saber. I know that.
Now, them tubes, those are for Jedi, so he can't be force choked. Yeah, that's a bounty hunter joint for him. So when he fights, when he has a bounty on a Jedi, they can't force choke him. Yeah, go ahead, check it out.
I do. I want to know why.
Interesting.
What is it made out of? Beskar?
I don't know. The tubes is for it's like, so if they do try to force choke him, he can still breathe and do shit.
Wow, that's genius.
I think they're gonna have Mando season 3 with him really learning to master the darksaber, like in the actual season 3.
Oh yeah,
stuff like that, and not be so heavy for him and stuff like that. I think that's gonna happen.
So does that mean that the Mando is also force sensitive?
What'd you say, Chris?
Nah, because everybody had that fucking darksaber. He ain't the only one. Sabine Wren had it. Fucking Bo-Katan had it.
That's true. Okay.
Yo, check it out. So it says right here, while the benefit of the tubes are for breathing in atmospheres different to what they're accustomed to, they were particularly made for if someone were attempting to grip Cad's neck with the Force, he could instead breathe with the tubes and essentially deem the method of attack useless.
Get him, E.
Okay,
Right. With a final flash.
and Pro says Cad Bane was a badass bounty hunter. He hunted down Jedi and modified his tools. Okay, we know that already now. Okay.
He had fun killing
Thanks, Pro. A little late though, but we appreciate it. Like that. All right. So speaking of the Force, we go back to where the Jedi Temple is being built, and we see Grogu and Luke doing more training. We see the whole Luke running with the book bag, like the Yoda
montage.
Man, so good.
Luke's doing his front flips that he likes to do all the time.
Yeah, he's killing those.
He loves the front flips.
I laugh, bro, because it's like a callback. Yeah. All he does is front flip. Just hardcore front flips.
Jedi do that a lot too. They do a lot of flips with the Force jump. That's part of their move. And in any of the video games, they always do a flip like a Force.
But Luke is always a front flip.
It's always his go-to. Tree trunk, boost, front flip. Run, slide, front flip. So I personally laughed because I was like, they brought back the front flip.
But then he's trying to teach Yoda how to jump. And it's funny because he says, "That's all you got?" when he first tried to jump. And I was laughing at that.
Right. I'd have been like, bro, all you do is a front flip. You coming at me like that? I bet you after we teach me the force jump, you gonna teach me to add a front flip in there too, huh?
But you remember in Attack of the Clones when Yoda pulled out when Yoda attacked Dooku? We were like, what?
Exactly.
Oh no, Yoda and all the rest of them, they got mad flips. But Luke,
listen, hey, bro, he got that trusty one move, dog. Front flip, that Jedi parkour, bro. It's that front flip.
You can run up trees too.
but we do see that he got the again another callback. They got the little Jedi training machine that shoots at you and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the first time it hits Yoda, I'm sorry, Grogu. Yeah, what the hell? Shit like that. But then that it's funny because that's kind of like throwing a kid in the pool to say you better swim. You know what I mean? So he's like, it's gonna shoot you, so you're gonna jump or no, either way. You know what I mean? So he's jumping. Then the thing is like, chasing him and stuff like that. And we see, Grogu actually jump in and making moves.
Correct.
And then he force destroys it. So I'd have been like, first I'd look, I'm like, we only had one of those, bro. I ain't tell you to destroy the shit.
Right. I would say, well, damn, I didn't tell you to break them up. I mean, shit.
Right.
But must have a lot of them.
Anyway, we do see, because Luke was right there with Ahsoka right there. Yeah. And Chris, you get to that callback scene to him, her saying, your father was the same way, stuff like that. Which kind of like you said was very, very heartbreaking. And then them talking again about the Mandalorian and attachment and stuff like that. So Chris, let me start with you, buddy. How you feel about that whole training montage up until that scene with him and Ahsoka, I guess?
Like everybody else was saying, I love how this echoed Yoda training Luke. It was perfect. And seeing what potential that Grogu has at his young age, man. And now he's got, Master Luke training him. That's going to be epic. But I don't think he's going to be staying with him, right? So
right.
But that scene with Ahsoka though, like if you watch Clone Wars and Rebels, that hits you real hard. You know what I mean? Because she struggled with Anakin, and because that was her master, and she was completely devastated by that, and to hear her say, you remind me of your father. What exactly did that mean, though? You know what I mean? Like, oh man, and does Luke know? Does Luke know what Ahsoka and Anakin did? Right? Like, I don't know, man, but that's cool. I want to see more of that.
That's what someone said. Like, did Luke, not to go into, but did Luke ever tell her that his father came back to the light side before he died and stuff like that? Because that would have made her feel.
Good.
Probably would have made her feel at ease. Yeah.
Right. So, Maine, how you felt about that whole aspect? Besides the front flips, how you felt about the
whole man, because we could do front flips all day, baby. But I also want to echo Chris's sentiments too. I think that was a really interesting point, and I think that for Ahsoka to say that it showed. It was crazy too because after she said that and it showed them, I looked at both of them and saw the impact that Anakin had on both of them. You know what I mean? One was a relationship that was first founded as a teacher, student relationship. It was good. It was under she idolized him. She all these things, right? Then you have on the other side, you have this child who grew up. You fought your father for a while, right? You fought him at some point. You did have some good moments with him, but these two people who were talking about or remembering the same person had two totally different experiences.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really interesting that they touched on that. And to what Chris was saying, I thought that moment also was not just her saying that to Luke about what he was like, but just it was also for her to hear out loud too. And to her to see him in action in that capacity, and to see that maybe in a way that Luke probably never got a chance to experience. And it was just a really, really touching moment to me to hear those words. And maybe it was just also for Ahsoka to say that we're not as different as we may think we are, and we still have this common bond with your father, and it could lead some other place. I don't know, but I really thought that was a really touching scene. It was really cool.
Let me holler at you, bro. You felt about that scene with the training montage up until that point with Ahsoka.
All right, so I like the training montage, and I don't think Luke knows, how strong Grogu is like we do. Like when we see him pick up that furry rhinoceros thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Like the mud. You
Yeah.
remember that? Like,
Yeah.
you know, that takes some. That's some.
Yeah, that was
that's some-
power.
That's some strength. That's power, right? So I don't think he knew that. That's why that machine got destroyed like that, just like that.
Well, you know, and if he was at the Jedi Temple, then he was trained by Jedi, right? And he just
Yeah, so he
forgot
had
all
to
in the
this
have
stuff.
beginning,
training
yeah,
before.
in the beginning, he lost his memory,
Right.
but he was,
So how did he lose his memory? Now is his memory lost from
the Sith wiped it, I think, or something like that.
Something that-
okay.
I don't
I was
know what
thinking
it
that he lost it from trauma, or being
It's
being
possible.
traumatized, being that young for him,
It's possible.
seeing all that.
He created like a block.
Yep, and blocked itself
Something
out.
tells me we're gonna find out, though.
Oh
yeah, I got that. Yeah. Other than that, the what else was there besides? Let me see. He crushed it. He was
Ahsoka,
hopping off the
him,
rocks, he
and
crushed
Luke.
it. Ahsoka talking. Let's see. Ahsoka, man, she like I love her character, but man, she always gives me this funny vibe. Like she just won't let it go. She has to let it go too, because it says to me like that's her attachment, and she's gonna
See?
even go
You see what I'm
dark
saying?
playing around like that, like going over that mess over and over. Like,
Well, that's why I
thinking
think
about it.
if Luke hadn't told her, or or I mean, maybe he did, but go into detail that that Anakin actually saved him,
Right? Yeah,
saved the Empire.
that's
That
what
she
I
could
think.
feel like he came back, to the light side and stuff like that.
And
So,
Luke, like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Luke seems like he's holding on to that. Like that's some big secret or something. That shouldn't be. You should, if that's your father, you would want his legacy to be like, yo, he's the one that destroyed the Empire, not me.
I thought that was known afterwards, though. I was under that impression.
Oh, so you think
how would
that's
it know?
known?
Only person that was there
Right.
was Luke.
It was Luke, right?
Well, usually after these big epic fights, everyone would know what would happen afterwards, like all the legends and the rumors and the stories. So I just assumed, because that's usually how stories and information is translated or passed or transferred in the Star Wars galaxy. Usually everyone just figures it out. So I was operating under that assumption that everyone knew, especially another Jedi. But that's just me. That's a good point,
Right.
But what do you think about the whole thing, Josh? The whole training and up to that point.
Again, the great montage, the great callback to Dagobah, I thought that was fantastic. And then to East's point and everyone else's point, which is brilliant, we actually get to see how powerful Grogu is with the Force, because with the instinct machine, if you will, because it's kind of like, oh, we're gonna see if you can dance, right?
Yeah,
so you
for
essentially
real.
shoot at his feet. Oh, now you know how to Force jump. That's right. And then to East's point, Grogu is able to activate his Force when he has that trauma. So whenever he's in danger, we saw the scene with the fire and Mando, right? It's when it's trauma and serious life danger, that's what makes it activated. So I think Luke was realizing, what was the trigger for the Force. Usually when we see people have powers, things get activated at certain times. So now he gets to see like, okay, this is what activates your Force. Okay. But then the Ahsoka scene, again, the comment about Luke and Anakin, that was very touching. That was fantastic. But then for me, this again, I'm just gonna be biased here. This echoed the MCU vibes, right? Because I'm like, why are you asking her for advice? She's not a master. And essentially, she's not manipulating. She's pushing where you think the decision could go, which I think
She
personally,
ain't even really a Jedi anymore. Be honest with you.
Exactly.
Right.
Not only that, she kind of set up what we're going to talk about in the future.
True.
So I was like, why you even ask her? Like I would ask her for her opinion, but the way he phrased it, phrased it the way that a Jedi Knight would ask his master, a Jedi master. I was just like, why are you asking her like that? You're a legit Jedi master. She didn't even get that rank.
Yeah, it's true.
But I guess he's looking at it because she was the one longer.
Right. And I think also because of her tenure with Anakin too. So in a way, there's still that respect
I don't
that
even think she was
bypasses
knighted.
title.
True.
And we
She
don't know
wasn't
how she
knighted.
aged either.
She wasn't.
She was just a Padawan. That's it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But look who she was a Padawan under again. When
And that's
you're
what I'm
under
saying.
that
So
type of person,
so I think that's why he bypassed.
I don't know, but he was
titles
still
for
kind of at that point. He was still under
a peer.
Obi-Wan, though. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They were
yeah,
almost
but
like,
he was doing a lot more wild shit than Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan wasn't with a lot of the shit he was doing.
No.
Like, he
not
didn't
at
like
all.
he didn't like a lot of the shit Anakin was doing.
But you
Going
know
on
what though?
adventures and
But
wilding.
if you look at Luke's character though, he's not one that like he'll take advice from anybody. You know what I mean? Even
True.
if he's not that kind of person where he's like, yeah, I'm Luke goddamn Skywalker. But still, I'll ask a bum off the street if he think if I should put mayonnaise on my sandwich or not. What tastes better? Like that's
a
just
great
the kind of
point.
person he is.
But in the movies, he said he wasn't like that.
True.
Because he had that hubris.
That's true.
And that's why I'm like, where is that hubris? And
I
he
see
should have that hubris. He was like, because I was Luke Skywalker, that's what made Ben turn into Kylo Ren. So I'm like, all right, where's that hubris?
I guess maybe they decided to change that a little bit. But that's also a good point as well. But yeah, I think that's what we got to see.
Stadium Pro Gaming, was she expelled? I thought
she was expelled.
In the cartoon, she was expelled.
I didn't even know that. She was expelled. Yeah.
I thought she left on her own. Oh, maybe okay.
That's how she spent it.
Yeah,
she spun it like this. She was like,
you can't fire me. You know what? I'm gonna quit. It's too late.
Right.
Could you see her right now at the bar just sitting there drinking? Yeah, man. I left that shit, man. I told them what they would, man.
I go right. Forget that temple.
Because Chris, that was also a part of a small part of Anakin's turn. He didn't like the fact they expelled her, and that also made him start turning against the Jedi as well.
Right.
Stuff like that. So he could do nothing about it either. They were like, I don't know. I mean, she gone, bro.
Pro. There we go.
She finally cleared. Anakin got her back.
That's what I remember, but I'm trying to figure out why she was
right. That's a great point. Good call back, Chris and Will. Yep.
I think that was when she started. She was already setting her way of thinking about size. Yeah, so that was why she denied it. But yeah, that's a good point.
She refused to return because she was heartbroken that the Jedi Master she admired could believe that she was capable of harming so many people plotting against the Jedi. That's why she never went back. Okay.
Yeah, I would understand.
After she was expelled first.
Right.
But
unjustly.
So, Josh, you started to talk about it already. That last scene, we see Luke, I guess, took her advice, and he takes the he sits what's that called? I forget it's called the two choices or whatever. So he tells Grogu that you got two choices here. You can, you got to take your Mandalorian armor, go back with your friend the Mandalorian, stuff like that. Or, he pulls out Yoda's lightsaber, which is also a good callback as well.
Awesome.
The small lightsaber. Or, you can take this to train in the ways of the Jedi, but you cannot have both. You have to make a choice. And he explains the choice and what has to be done. And we see Grogu kind of just looking at both items, but never making a decision. So, Josh, how you felt about that? I already started talking about how you felt about the whole scene there. So.
Man, I thought that was completely unfair to Grogu. Like, even though he's 50, he's still an infant. He can't even speak yet. Right. He only coos. So how is he going to be able to make that decision? That's number one. So I thought that was completely unfair by Luke. I understand why he did it. I thought that was unfair. And maybe he did it strategically, and we might see. But I on the surface, completely unfair. Number one. Number two, the Yoda lightsaber is dope. And it's so awesome that Jedis or Sith just collect lightsabers whenever they found them. Like, it's like a trophy on the wall. Like, oh yeah, I have Yoda's lightsaber. I have Anakin's lightsaber. I have Obi-Wan's lightsaber. I think that is amazing. I love that. Even back to the original trilogy, I thought that was great. Yeah. But at the same time, it's kind of like all he knows is his connection to Mando. So what else is he going to choose? And it reminds me again, a call back to Dagobah when Luke says, when Yoda says to Luke, when you follow your vision you have, and you have to stop the training to go help your friends, right? So it's kind of like, I feel like he was pushing him towards making the Mando decision personally. But at the same time, this is what I was saying with Chloe, because I have more of the context about Yoda's species. I was like, he has the lifespan to do both. So he can go with Mando and then come back and still train and be all right. Because again, he can't speak yet. So he can do both. But at the same time, we saw Mando's growth. And as Maine was saying, and everyone was saying, not being selfish. So for him to come back to Mando now, when there's this big epic showdown that I'm sure we're all anticipating for episode 7, it doesn't make sense for Grogu to go back to Mando and his lifestyle. That doesn't make any sense. And I'm sure Luke can sense that with the Force. So I'm just trying to figure out what game of cosmic chess is going on here. And I'm just curious to see what's going to happen.
Right.
Hey, go ahead, E. How you feel about that whole thing, the choice?
Because honestly, man, like, for real, I hope he picks both. Like, I honestly do. I hope he shuts Luke down and just goes, swoop,
I'm going to go back with Mando.
And lights the saber, right? Like,
but Luke won't train him, though, so that's not helping him.
I know. I don't like the choice. I don't like the choice that Luke did.
All right.
That pissed me off a little bit, but yeah. I agree with Josh with that. Like he's too young to be sitting up here trying to make him or break him basically in decisions already too. Like already y'all worried about attachment, but y'all want to break him too. Y'all don't want to like grab that Beskar, man. You'll get you can get Yoda Saber. Grab that Beskar.
Chris.
I agree with everybody else too. I didn't.
Right.
I didn't understand why he offered that to him. Like, you know. But I hope, like E said, I hope, you know, okay, I'm gonna go join Amanda, but yoink, take that lightsaber with me.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
And I agree exactly what Stadia Pro is saying. It could be just a choice, but here's my other thing too, right? This is how I look at it too, is that in these situations, especially so the outcome that we're expecting isn't always the one that we're gonna get, or is it the right one? So what I'm expecting is I think that he will actually, in fact, leave and go with Mando. And here's why. I think that you can't have them paired together for all of this time to see that now we have a correlation between the two. You can't think of Mando and not Grogu and vice versa. They are now, in a way, an item. And I think that this is part of that ragtag group, that relationship, that bond that they have, regardless of whether or not he's force sensitive. You can't always, at the end of the day, you can't get them all. And you can't. And it may not be right now. Like they were saying, he could go and change trajectory. He could change course. He has the time, provided that he takes care of himself and things like that. But I think that right now it's too early for him to really sit down and try to master the Force. There's this one piece of unfinished business that Grogu has personally, and he can't, even regardless of whether or not he knows what's going on, he knows that his friend is in need. And there's no way that he's going to allow him to do that on his own and forsake him just for the sake of potentially saving people years from now. Right now, what's important is his friend needs him. He needs his help. He can feel it. He reached out to him when he saw him leave. This is where I think we're gonna see Grogu and Mando Din Djarin back together, at least for the rest of this time.
Well said, man. That's exactly what I wanted to say.
Thank you.
That was well said. Now, even though remember he reached for him, like you said, does that mean if he picks the Beskar, that means Luke has to take him over there because he left already?
Right.
Yeah, that does. And
Wait
I think,
a minute.
go ahead.
No, wait. Oh, we're gonna see Luke in the final battle.
Hey, I called this a couple episodes ago. Now, come on,
no.
now. That's
I'm
right.
sorry.
E. That's
Sorry
what
about
I'm
that,
talking
guys.
about.
What'd you say? I missed that.
Whoa.
I said, remember when he was grabbing for him and he took off? I said, so if he picks the Beskar, that means Luke has to take him
He has to.
and fly him to the Mando.
Yep.
And Luke is going to
That
protect him.
goes right into the chaos.
Hey, yo,
right.
Mike, can you share the screen that the photo
I got you.
share?
I got you. I'm sorry, my fault.
So it's all gonna work out. See?
I was laughing at that.
Yo.
And May, you said it's all gonna work out.
I think that for right now, I think it will work. I think that even Luke will understand what's going on. I think he knows now, right? You can't be Luke, the master, and not have an idea of sensing when it comes to empathy or things like that. You have an idea where his heart is and where his mind is. You know that. And I think that he's going to allow him, it's still his choice, right? So even those things were placed there were symbols. It also talks about his path in life and where he's leading most towards. He didn't ask to be at the Jedi Temple. He's always wanted to be with Mando. But these people have made these decisions for him based off of the potential that they see in him. So this is not what he's wanted. It probably has never been that. He just wants to be with his boy. And I think that's where they're gonna go.
I think you're short-sighted though, man. I'm gonna tell you
Okay.
why. Oh, before I do that, let me just read this part. He says, if Luke tries to return Grogu into his bunch of madness, Luke will not leave Grogu there. Interesting point.
It all works out.
Yeah.
Part of the plan.
He says, do you think this guy, any of these Disney Plus shows are going to go towards a movie?
It's all part of the plan.
I think that they're going to have an actual movie, but nothing to do with these Disney Plus shows. To be honest with you,
Disney a Grogu movie.
I think Disney Plus is trying to build subs, so they'll keep having these shows over and over again. Me personally, but that's on the business side. We'll talk about that later tonight, Josh. Actually, but on this side, you got to remember, man, he started out in a Jedi temple, right?
Correct.
And then Luke is making him remember that. He's a
Correct.
Jedi first and foremost. Yes,
Mhm.
he met Mandalorian now
Yeah.
for a couple months basically, and they
Right.
cool and whatnot. But the reason why the choice is hard for him because he's a Jedi first and foremost. So I feel like that he gonna ultimately, but now he done grown the fantasy towards Mando. So ultimately, I think he's gonna wind up choosing Mando at the end of the day.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I think that's why I said there were symbols. It's all about choice. And here's the thing. Initially, right? He was. If you want to talk about being a Jedi, let's be real. The people, the kids who become Padawans, they don't have a choice, do they?
Yeah, but
No.
here's the question:
What's different?
Is Yoda species are they Padawans or are they born Jedi?
Here's the
Right?
thing. I see what you're saying, right? So in that sense, it at this point right now, because he's already force sensitive and he has those abilities, he can still use them as it stands right now for the current situation that he's in. So yes, he can get trained later and he can hone those skills, whereas somebody would have to study years and years and years to even show some of the things that Grogu has shown. But I think for right now, in this instance, for this story, right, whether this may blow off or again, he I think can come back, and I think Luke is going to see that, and this is just a test to see where he's going to go. Luke is. You mean to tell me that Luke is going to sit there and allow him, if he decides to go back and hang out with Mando for whatever reason? You think that Luke is going to say, okay, listen, since you've made your choice, and I know that you have a capacity to do great good, but right, even though right now it may not seem like the right time for you, oh well, regardless, you can never come back to me. You can
I
never
kind
get
of think
trained.
so. I
You
think
think
Luke
so?
is still in the ways of the old school Jedi, and they would have that where if you leave, you can't come back.
Well, how
I
is
kind
that
of think so.
possible? If
What do
he's
you mean?
also challenging in the other movies, he's challenged that very way of doing things.
Yeah,
So
Who?
how could that so
Yeah,
Luke, just the old ways, right?
no. The
You saying
later
that
Luke.
later Luke, okay. Well
Right. I think the
maybe.
Luke right now today is still thinking about the older ways of the Jedi, right? Where it's like
Possibly.
if you leave, you can't come back. Put it like that. I mean,
But I
but
mean,
it,
yeah,
go,
we
go
know
ahead.
the answer. They put a little tube on that N1 Starfighter. That's Grogu's seat. So let's be
And
real.
that's what I'm saying. Like, and maybe that could be just a place to just to trick us, right? It could be a fake. He could end up putting a droid there. We don't know, right? So that there's many ways you can go, and I think that this scene is that deciding factor. And yeah, you could be right. He's trying to test him and see where his motivation lies. But regardless, I think that there's a lot that they can explore, and I honestly think that he's going to end up going with Mando because just imagine,
Yeah.
right? Just imagine how this story is going to play out. How we've seen it. I understand that people want to have a Yoda successor, but if you ask anybody or most people, would you rather have a Yoda successor or do you want to see the Mando and Grogu together, adventuring and everything else? Which one are you going to
Honest,
choose?
That's a
what's
good
up,
question.
I would.
Climax? Honestly, because at this point he's even too small to really handle a lightsaber. I'd rather see a Yoda successor. Me personally,
Really?
yeah. Josh, go ahead. What would your answer be?
I mean, man, this is a wonderful esoteric, as Chris was saying, existential question, right? This is an existential dilemma right now. However, as of right now, he needs to learn how to defend himself. Everything that Luke was
True.
echoing, I'll teach you how to do this. And if he goes with Mando's going to teach him the same thing. But for his specific skill set, and I know we have a lot of gamers here, it makes more sense for him to learn the ways of the Force. That's going to get the most out of his potential. And he can always learn to use blasters and do other fighting things.
That's
But
also
I feel
true.
like that would also make him a stronger Mando. So he might be the one to wield the Darksaber. I feel like it might be too big for him. He might be able to build his own in the future. So I love how they're setting it up. It can go either way. It can go both.
But damn, I hope he gets a
Because
little
of his
bigger.
timeline.
Right, that's my point about
I
that.
feel
Like, but real quick, and read this. I think Luke, the Luke we see is the one before all the knowledge of the prequels. Right, was revealed to him. He doesn't know the
That's
failure of the
true. That's a
Jedi.
good point. That's a good
I
point.
agree with that as
That's a
well.
good point.
And just on the on logistics wise, right? So Yoda in the original trilogy was all puppet, right? Kind of like they're doing Grogu now. So he
Right.
couldn't even actually wield a lightsaber, right? That's why he never did.
True.
The
Probably.
Yoda in the prequels was CGI. You saw him swinging a lightsaber. This Grogu, unless they change him to CGI, he can't wield the lightsaber. So logistically, you're
Mm.
probably going to go with Mando. That's
Do
like a
not
little
say can't.
inside information. It's not possible using the puppeteer.
Yeah, and Luke Skywalker comeback wasn't possible too, man. So.
Well, I think also they if you to play the other side too, if you wanted to keep them going with the Jedi, they could also, it's a crystal, so they could probably fashion another way that they can either make it smaller, or they
got to
can
be
use
smaller,
a special personalized weapon for him as well. Yeah,
even Yoda lightsaber right now is too big for him.
Yeah,
the hilt is bigger than him right now.
Absolutely. So they could fashion another way to use that, to use that crystal. If he does decide to stay a Jedi, they can make him a personalized weapon, for a dagger, a Force dagger. You know what I mean? A Jedi, a light dagger, anything that they could do that for him if you want to go that route too.
They can, but visually, unless you go back to CGI, you can't do a puppet like it's not.
That's true.
I mean, they can't go back to CGI, but everybody likes the puppeteering. That's the whole thing,
right?
So I don't know what they would do.
Which is also a dilemma.
Why do I feel like they're gonna do cold or warm, warm or cold?
What?
No?
like inverse it, right?
Yeah, like why do I? What makes? Because he's gonna probably end up talking like Yoda anyway. So I feel like he's gonna.
Man, no, you go ahead. This is great. Go ahead, E. Take it away, bro.
I feel like he's gonna go. He's gonna be a Yoda with Mando.
Yeah,
I do. I feel like he's gonna be saying this shit like Mando say. Cold or warm.
Oh,
okay. I was
okay. Because look, the context. I was like, yeah, yeah.
I will. I thought you were high already. I was like, what the fuck?
I'm always high.
Right, Chloe. It's provocative. Yeah, gets the people going.
He's always high.
I think there you go. Josh made a great point way early. Here's what they should do. This would be genius, right? You keep him. You take him to Mando like now because he's a baby. He can't really do much stuff like that. But then you bring him back past the Skywalker saga. He's 50 years older. He's as big as Yoda now, and then he can wield lightsabers and give Rey knowledge that he got from Luke and stuff like that, even beforehand and stuff like that. I think that would be dope.
Which would make sense to have him choose Mando right now and have him come back. And maybe Luke might not be the one. He might be like, look, I gave you the opportunity and I can't, whatever, right? He may end up with another master, but I think that would explain that direction that they go in, because you make a lot of good points. He can't wield that lightsaber. He's a toddler. Right. And people who are usually Padawans are a lot older than him as far as like physiology and things like that. Right. They're a lot older than him in that respect. So you got a good point.
I think they're gonna milk the whole quote unquote Baby Yoda merchandise for a while now. Mando season 3 and all that good stuff.
And I'll buy it all.
But I think that eventually he got to get bigger. But that if he's 50 now, like Josh said, like it makes just sense time wise if it happens 40, 50 years later, stuff like that. So I agree with that. But let's go into ratings, bro. So let's rate this episode 1 through 10. We are finished with it. It closed with that choice. So Chris, I'm sure it's a 10 for you, but go ahead, buddy.
Yeah.
All right, as simple as that.
Easy.
Yeah, easy. E?
That was my favorite.
Yeah, I'm definitely giving that a 9. That's definitely getting a 9 for me.
All right, hold on. Well, he's definitely gonna die eventually.
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah, he's definitely gonna die. Like
spoilers.
Josh.
Definitely a 9. I love the way that they, gave us a great cliffhanger to see what decision he makes, and I love the pieces that are set up. I know Miguel, and I understand that you have your issues with where you had a great metaphor about it. I'll let you bring that up on your own. This from where it's going. I like where it's going. Yeah. To me, it just makes sense that these stories would cross over. For me, it always made sense. I always had an assumption that I would see Mando and Grogu and Boba Fett, especially because of the timeline and how everything happened. And for me, it's a solid 9.
I have spoken.
And thanks again, Pro. And thanks again, Pro, for watching. He had to run and build a new PC. But thanks again,
Must
Pro.
Be nice.
Always
Ryzen, nice. Okay.
Ooh, Ryzen 9. I want to get that too. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. That's what he said.
Yeah.
So appreciate that, bro. And Gertrude said, "Yeah, 30% is this is on service making the next movie, right? Yeah,
Oh man, I don't know.
I'm tired of it. I don't even want to see Ray.
I don't like Ray,
Until
but I can see
until they
Josh's
do
point
Finn
though.
right, I don't.
And I'm
wanna
not
see
even
him.
talking about that Mary Sue stuff, man.
Oh my God, we're done with that. Yeah, I can't.
No,
I can't.
the sequels is a sad story because I think there's no Grogu. Okay, we know that Luke met Grogu. Luke in the future ain't talking about Grogu. They all died, man. The First Order wiped everybody out, bro. That's sad. That's just depressing, man.
I don't know. It don't
I
make
mean, you
Grogu
never
die
know.
though.
I feel like he could have
hit it
easily.
somewhere.
He could have hit Grogu easily.
But
That's
she
what the
was the
Jedi
last-
do is hide.
She was the last Jedi. Luke
Wait,
said it.
what did Luke do?
Well, he did protect his ass halfway across the universe. So
He should have Harlem Shake and all that.
Yeah, they had all kind of new powers in those movies. Like I don't know.
Like,
What the,
yeah, let's not talk about them anymore.
Anyway, I agree with Josh. Grogu could be hidden. They could definitely retcon that and make Grogu
Easily.
Yeah.
And again, we all will agree. We love the tutelage of Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, Kevin Feige, and Bryce Dallas Howard, right? And all the other Mando directors. If they're in charge of the Star Wars universe and the storylines and the TV shows and the films,
It's going to be
trust
good.
the
It's
direction.
going to be
We're
great.
good.
Right.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, and it's surprising too because JJ. I watched Star Trek. JJ Star Trek is so good. I'm like, how do you
Great,
suck at Star Wars?
phenomenal.
You know what, man? I think that because JJ is actually one of my favorite directors, and I think that he's a victim of circumstance, honestly.
Yes.
And just hype and it was just so much pressure on his part, and I think that regardless of it was a double-edged sword, double-edged saber. Honestly, it could have gone either way, and I think that it was just him. It was just him this time.
I feel like he did great for Force Awakens. I love that.
He did.
And I
Yeah,
feel
me
like
too.
to Main's point, he had to pick up someone else's mess,
Yep.
which in filmmaking is always that is a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Like it's not his entire creation. He came
Absolutely.
into Force Awakens knowing he wouldn't come back for the third.
Yep.
I just watched the recent Star Trek the other day. I'm like, yo, this is so good. Like,
It's not the director. It was the circumstances in which he was put under. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So I got to rate this twice. I'm sorry, guys. As a Boba Fett episode, I'm giving it a solid 1. Right? Because all I got was
Like a banter.
Right, my man E right there.
right. That's what I got. That's it. I think that
I am Mando.
No, he said nothing.
I am
He
Boba.
didn't say nothing.
So the fact that Boba Fett hasn't spoken in his show in 3 weeks is like
Yo.
All right, I agree with you there, man.
Yeah.
But it
Worst
ain't
Boba Fett episode ever.
They gave us Cad Bane. I'm cool.
Yeah.
I ain't need to see Bubba.
We got a lot of good. That's why I'm not lowering
Yeah.
my score, but I agree with you, Mike.
No. I gotta read it twice. I'm not gonna roll my
Right.
I gotta read
It was the
twice.
worst Boba Fett show of all time.
Yeah. Now,
Worst of all time.
now for a Mando season 2 of the
There we go.
On point.
I'll give it a solid 9 like the rest of you guys. Man. It had a lot. And the thing I love about I think what Chris was been saying, what's one of the things I love about Star Wars, you really only had the small, not even really shootout. It was really quick with a Cobb Vent in the beginning with the Pikes. And then you had the little showdown. But that was really the all action for the episode. But just the scenes, even with Luke and Grogu, even the walking and talking, even those calming scenes were great. Stuff like that. That's what I love about Star Wars. They don't have to have action all the time.
Correct.
For it
I'm
to
glad
be
you said
great.
that. Glad you said
So
that.
I like that. So Ahsoka was fan service, but that part I thought was dope. And so for me, and the callbacks and like I said, it's just the Luke Mark Hamill for me. He's always my favorite, like from the beginning, stuff like that. So I'm gonna go with a solid 9 for that as we go. So now we got the last episode. I'm sure we'll get some Boba, and this one and whatnot.
Probably gonna be an hour, 30 minutes. It might be a movie length, man.
It might be
movie
nothing
length,
but
I'm telling you.
nonstop action and killing and
It's
heads chopped
gotta
off,
be.
arms.
What I will say too, back to the Boba episode part, because this started with Boba, is I feel like because we missed a part of the episode. Actually, now I think about it, we missed the part with the bomb inside of the cantina. Actually, that we didn't talk about. So let's talk about that really, really quickly. Let's talk about how that can, give you more insight to the next episode. So, Maine, what are your thoughts on the bomb part in the cantina?
I'm gonna keep it real short and sweet. It's shit about to go down.
Ooh,
That's
that
it.
was disrespectful.
That's
All
it.
right.
Because like you said, disrespectful, and that's
is
all you need to say.
Yeah.
Sometimes stuff like that gets that message across real quick.
Right,
And they
real
killed
quick.
Jennifer Bills. So
Right.
Sure did.
Yeah, pour one out for her, huh?
yeah, I'll make
They
my
kill
point after.
everybody, man.
Yeah,
My
but
man with the big eyes and the guitar. Come on,
Yep.
Max.
They killed Max Rebo.
They
They
moved the
did.
whole place. Yeah.
No.
Killed him.
It's gone.
Yeah, which makes sense, right? Because I love this. They gotta make sense why there was no cantina in the newer
God.
ones, stuff like that,
Right.
right?
Oh shit!
Right.
Yes, sir.
Josh,
Oh,
they
yes,
talk
sir.
about that one scene real quick though.
I mean, again, it brings us back to the Boba Fett storyline. So I thought that was fantastic, and to do it literally with a bang and to blow up, as Mike was saying, probably one of the most infamous bars in Star Wars is
Yes,
that
sir.
bar. So I was just like, oh wow. So
I gotta run, you guys. I'm so sorry. I gotta go.
Go
All
ahead,
right,
go ahead.
Yeah.
Thank you guys, everybody. I love you all.
Appreciate you,
I'll
man.
talk to y'all
Talk to you,
later.
Chris.
Okay.
get some
Thank you.
sleep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get some rest.
Bro, Chris was talking to me at 4 a.m. the other day on Facebook, like he was writing me messages just like that. So he ate me up, bro. So, but I was up too. So we go back and forth. But anyway, about Star Wars, it was crazy as hell. But anyway, so my whole thing was that was the really first and only scene I felt a real threat from the Pikes, right? And the boba of it all, because that was kind of like some mafioso stuff. Leave the bomb in the bar, walk away, real smooth.
And that was so obvious though. Like, what were they
It
doing?
was.
Right.
Yeah, but I
They
hate
didn't even
the
wait for the
fact.
drinks to come.
So Cad Bane being there brings up a little bit more of that threat level, and then that. But I hate the fact that they didn't like throughout the series like give us more of how much a threat they are to why Boba needs all these people to help him out and stuff like that. I feel like they didn't never show that enough to me. I feel like this season, especially if you wanted to put 2 episodes of Mando in there, should have been like 10 episodes instead of 7. That would probably been perfect because you'd have like 3 more left with Mando now with the crew and stuff like that, and seeing that thing. I mean, obviously that's hindsight, but that's what I feel like. So the Boba Fett of it all, I don't know how to rate this series when it's over because it's like a half Boba Fett, half Mandalorian. So I get to that after it's over.
Yeah, man.
But for right now, like I said, Boba 1, Mando 9. Looking forward to the next episode, guys. So,
and you don't feel that this is like going to be a different type of crossover, like I think it's going to be genius if they do it how I think they're doing it. I feel like it's going to be genius if we watch Mando the season and Boba Fett shit interferes in there, and then we're getting single Boba
if they
Fett
can do that,
episode.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm telling you, this is
That's
all
where I
it
think
is.
they're
This
going.
is what they're doing. They're doing this.
I
right
agree,
here,
but
and
I got a
just
feeling,
boom.
and I said this early in the thing. Mando's not. I'm chilling here, hanging out. I help you for a second, but I'm gone.
Right.
Like I think Mando is off world more so, where Boba is like grounded. I don't think we're gonna see that much more Boba at all. So I think Boba's plan is to run Tatooine. That's what we're gonna do.
That's it.
So I don't think we'll really see that much. Me personally, but we'll see. So yeah, this show is over. Thank you guys all for watching. Thank Chloe. I'm not cutting off yet though. Thank Stadia Pro. Thank Climax. Thank Aggressively Relaxing. And everyone else who watched the show, really appreciate that. Josh, before I go, why don't you tell the people, tell these guys what we're about to do later today in about an hour or two.
Absolutely. So we're about to bring the Mental Theater Avengers back together. We're actually having a show live in Avengers Tower here, which is going to be awesome. We're going to talk about a lot of cool things, a lot of the movies that come up, and more importantly, I feel like one of my favorite aspects, especially that me and Big Mike pioneered, was having conversations about the industry and the business aspects. So one of the main topics is going to be the streaming wars. Who won? And do we think movies are back for good? Things like that. So it'll be a great conversation. The Cowboy will be in the building. So it'll be great live at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, we're gonna be together. Me, Cowboy, Josh, at the same place, same time. So please.
And Claudiz will be there too.
Yeah. Tony Stark Jr. And man, if you could watch that, y'all got time.
Or if you want to join, I'll send y'all the link. Either way, like y'all can join too, virtually, whatever.
Yeah, send the link and send the YouTube stuff like that.
Oh,
and then real quick, E and I tomorrow, if you guys want to watch this, is going to be at 11:30, so it'll be a little early for you, man. But we're doing our most, not just E, but E, the whole Comic Cinema crew. Me, E, Chris, Dave, his long-winded ass, and Ant. And Ant, we're doing our most anticipated comic films of the year.
Nice.
So I did a tally. There's 9 movies coming out this year, comic book movies, and we're gonna break them 1 through 9 are our most anticipated comic films of the year. So if either you want to, join, you're always welcome. I'll put the link in the chat and also
Appreciate
the YouTube to watch it and stuff like that. So
Dope.
a lot of good stuff coming to the channel. And then one last thing, EI and a friend of mine, Michelle, tomorrow night, we're going to start doing Power. Episode so tonight starts
right.
So tonight starts Power
66.
Book 4 Tommy. So starting tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern time, EI, my friend Michelle, gonna be talking about Power, the season finale of book 2 and Power Book 4. We're gonna do weekly episodes of that Sundays at 7 p.m. So a lot of fun stuff coming to the channel. So
a lot of content.
Oh, Big Mike, what's that review team called?
Oh, this is the Cinema Crew point. Oh, what's one? The comic one? Oh, this one.
Oh yeah, that one. The Power one.
Same thing. Power Cinema Crew.
Nice.
Everything is Cinema Crew. My channel's gonna be called Cinema Crew Point of View. So everything's Cinema Crew. So gotta keep it together. So so a lot of content, a lot of thoughts. I'm putting people together, putting things together.
Yes,
Again,
sir.
you guys are always welcome to come on and talk. Maine, I appreciate you, Josh. So and hopefully you can watch later on today, like Josh said, 6 p.m. and that'll be on his channel. So make sure that Josh put it in the chat and stuff like that. All right. So for that, Josh, Maine, Chris, again, as always, we're out.
All right, peace, fellas.
Peace.